Hello, everyone. And so we're here with me, Skyfire, and we have Davo in the chat as
Hello,
well.
everyone. Welcome into stream. This is for our CTL finals. I'm going to be very excited, but we do have a little bit of a roster shakeup as we're trying to locate some players. So that's why we're starting a little bit tardy, unfortunately, trying to get the exact proper lineup decided for our semifinals match. Which, I mean, to be fair, we expected most people to show up on time, but then again, life happens. So you never
Yeah,
really know.
yeah. I think if worst case scenario, it might end up like a mirror match of UCSC versus UCSD, where we kind of lost the player on one side. But like, I think we're currently still waiting and hoping whether the one player will appear for Uoft versus NYU.
Which, okay, it looks like the player has showed up. So I think we have 5-on-5 according to the main team. Where I don't think we're having any subs at the moment, unless I'm mistaking something.
Yes. Why did they? Why did they all
Oh,
leave?
it's for so for some reason I think with like the way it shows up on stream, it's better to have like all of one team and then all of another team.
Mm,
So they tend to do like the enter
shuffling.
and then have like everyone shuffle around. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
But yeah, now as we have our decision for first match, we've got a wide array of, I think our lowest honestly between both of these teams, U rank, a good number of X ranks, and I think a handful of X plus between the two of them, although it might only be one or two.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a difficult battle because we have UFT who has three X ranks, or at least X ranks that are going to
Mhm.
be pretty much above like the TR for like most of the players of NYU, but I don't think it's impossible for NYU to win at all. I think it's like depends on how they do their drafting, so and just like the matches in
Mhm.
general. Yeah, I think we might have to see some pretty close matches, but I'm looking forward to see what NYU is going to be doing in this sort of uphill battle.
Yeah, and especially as you mentioned, like getting those matchups right, we saw exactly how influential that third place matchup into matches 4 and 5 was very influential in getting a lot of good matchups.
Oh
Curious if there'll be any buyouts for trying to get specific matchups and sacrificing games to make that happen, or if we'll just see things go by as regular, and if that typical strategy tends to work.
yeah, and I feel like, oh, I mean, I'd like to expect NYU to try to figure things out beforehand. I hope they didn't just go in just like being like we ball and then just gamble. Which totally is a viable strategy, but I feel like against this matchup, it's a little bit of it's very risky to go for.
Yeah, not in the third place match if you can avoid it.
Oh yeah, it's like, are there any like prizes for like third place?
There definitely are badges. I'm pretty sure for third place. So you're playing for an extra badge on that, Tetra channel layout, which as many a Tetrio player can attest to, is a nice status statement.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Everybody loves going for all of the badges, whether they're achievements or not.
Yeah, this is quite fancy looking badge.
And I think we're given the like minute or two for blind picks. So obviously, I haven't really noticed a trend of whether players tend to pick like a specific person to go in first, but it looks like we have Pateflo, which I believe is the lone U rank of University of Toronto, and Game Player 299 is going to be going in, one of the three X rank players on NYU's team for Game 1.
This is gonna be interesting. I don't know. You could argue that Meppy is U rank, but like, I don't know.
Okay, well,
It's hard
I feel like I tried that the last time I was casting Uoft, and Meppy was just making the hard argument that that's not the case.
It's not the case. Maybe he just chooses not to grind TL.
I mean, honestly, kind of a base decision. I'd vibe with it.
Yeah, but
that's season 1 badge of 24.9 TR. That's that's a little bit higher than the X rank boundary. I'll just put it that way.
Just a little bit, sure. Yeah, but it looks like we're getting a couple of misdrops into the warm up, but Info is mainly just doing a bit of waiting.
Yeah, we got the revive condition, 3 immediate hard drops, but thankfully this is a warm up round.
Yeah. That looks like something you'd see from like a rapid trigger keyboard. From experience, I've seen it happen.
It's like the like drummer strat of like you let the recoil like bring the stick back to you, so you like just keep flicking downwards. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
All right, but yeah, I guess fortunately for Potaflo in that case, that was warm up, but that's a little bit of a hint as to what we'll be seeing from these two. And as always, first game is a really nice way to set the tone.
No more mistakes now. Well, too late.
Okay. Lovely time, Skyfire.
Yes, but I'm sure it'll be okay. I mean, but we have game player here going at full 3 PPS. Already has the 6 surge. But...
Yeah, sends it off a little early, and I think was trying to nuke with it, but Potaflo able to get the counter spike off successfully, and that's game 1 to Potaflo.
Yes, and I think this meta, like, it feels like a lot of Season 1's, like, attributes of, like, timing and going fast really get accentuated in Season 2. Like, for example, you'd want to go fast, but then the idea of back-to-back down stacking, which, like, becomes so much more important as well, that if you, just because you go fast, doesn't mean that you can actually just win against someone who just can flunk you with back-to-back. Oh,
yep.
Speaking of which,
that says, yep.
Tremendous surge spike of 27, and game player is kind of at a lock for words.
95 attack out of those 80 pieces. That's some quite masterful efficiency. But I think going back to your point, like, it's a little bit harder to say like it's a 1-for-1 and like everything is accentuated, because I do think it is harder to play the timing game within Season 2, just because a lot of times if that advantage isn't severe enough between timing, you can honestly just get broken down by the amount of surge that can be built up by a fast player. But usually that comes as a result of that fast player playing creative to all spins, which generally, if you're blitzing out a 6-3 like a lot of players do with Season 2, you don't really get that same benefit as quickly.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for the slower player to actually win nowadays, they actually have to be more efficient in all spins.
That is definitely a new skill we're all practicing.
Yes. But I did see how like Potaflo is actually going with the more plonking route, and game player is going to be more prepared for it, getting ready to punish right in that moment.
Yeah, spend a little bit too long trying to get that eye over to the side, and just when your opponent's on the ropes, just a couple extra lines forcing them to make compromises sometimes can be all that it's needed.
That is it. Ooh. Interesting way of stacking UE metal. But all that clean garbage that Potaflo has.
Oh no, the T-Must drop!
Right to break the surge right at the top is just enough.
The 2-3 extra lines, that's all it's going to take. And we have early T to start off with our round 5. And we are already 2-2.
Yeah.
Lovely garbage for Potaflo in this instance.
Game plan here with both players. I think the one who's actually being cautious right now is game player, who's making sure that he doesn't actually cover up his board too much.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Seems to be working out pretty well. Potaflo having to be a little careful with these down stacks. Not really going to be building up surge, but obviously for the time being wants to make sure there's a little bit on the board, but unfortunately that's a wee bit too much with that O hanging over the center.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have to see some adaptation from Potaflo, because it seems like game player's method of just spamming cheese with surge is not working out in Potaflo's favor.
Okay, I was gonna say that could be an option for a T-spin double. Oh, we're getting even more misdrops. Things are not looking too great as of the last 4. I think that's 4 straight from Game Player.
It's quite the rhythm.
Yep.
But
Gets the all clear, which won't be doing as much of, nuke attack. Oh, but oh my goodness, Potato almost getting the all clear.
yeah,
I think
game player's at the top of the board. He breaks. Oh, he already broke it a while ago.
Potato trying to get that. Oh, stacking a little bit too vertical, unfortunately, on the left side, and that's where the garbage shows up. Game player takes yet another with a little bit of the 10 to 12 follow up. So Potato just holding on to the TKI, and it looks like the adaptation is Game player is going to be building up the TD opener.
Yeah.
Potato, really nice stack.
Yeah, but it starts to feel like he might actually be waiting too much. Because all that time waiting is game player being able to just build up even larger that surge going like he's doing right now. Having that 6th surge with a bit of a misdrop, but should be able to continue with the right ult.
Alright, Potato, yeah, still not able to get any of a surge themselves, but thankfully gets the board all the way back down to the ground before that surge attack comes in. And although it is cheese, Potato was much more confident being able to work with all of that garbage and immediately pulls a reversal.
Match is actually pretty close, relatively. I mean, game player still has the advantage, but I think it's not like impossible for Potato to make a comeback.
So Potato almost able to get the extra all clear after the clean garbage. Not quite.
Potato missing a bit of an all spin to keep back to back. Shouldn't be overly detrimental as long as they can get back into a good board state like they are right now. Tries to go for the T-spin, but unfortunately could not cycle fast enough for it.
Ooh. Okay, Potato right now has a pretty solid 7-2 stack. Might be able to get a little bit of the ST stacking on top, and it looks like that's what they're going to be going for. Unfortunately, breaking back-to-back before the surge is over. Or before the surge builds up, sorry.
Yeah.
Skimming down to the 8-1 well. I mean, 8-1 is also just a really inconvenient well, so sometimes if you're just not feeling it, it's not worth it to try and build up clean over it. Just reset the stack back down.
Yeah. Resetting the stack is also a pretty good skill to have. I find out, like, initially what I found with all spins with that, it was very easy to just greed and try to think, like, oh, you have to just up stack all the time for it. But then sometimes it's like you have to get into a good board state to be able to do, like, proper all spins while down stacking. So, like, that time just skimming is actually just, like, pretty beneficial in the long run.
Oh boy, Potato needs a skim. Able to cycle around to the eyepiece. Gameplay right now has... Ooh. Okay, gets sent after a little smaller attack, but now gameplay is... Oh, called without a skim option.
Potato kind of anticipating the skim would happen with that break, the surge, and was totally prepared for it.
Alright, and again, no early eye. Oop. Okay, PC answered with the MS2. Gets a really nice TP cycle, but not going to be a major spike.
Go to the top.
Oh!
This is a bit of a skim to the T-spin, but...
Oh, Potato needs to find a combo.
Now
not going to be able to get it. Again, this is still a very close match to be had, but obviously with Potato, this is kind of the lowest TR rated player on Uoft Toronto. I think with the exception of Meppy, but again, Meppy is kind of more of the, let's confuse everybody by not grinding out TL and then take advantage when they aren't looking.
Yes. Oh my god, looks like we have game player being the winner, but those 4 points that Potato managed to get could be potentially the downfall of NYU. Who knows, those 4 points could actually matter at the very end, especially with these upcoming opponents being X Plus and the grouper being another X rank, but being very high up. So
yeah, it's essentially we've got like 3x and 1x plus from U Toronto's side, 2 X's and 2 U's from NYU side, and right now there's only a 4-game difference. Which, if set wins add a +1, we're probably going to need to see, I would say, at the very least 2 more wins from NYU to be safe. But those probably need to be just as close as the losses. And with Ricky being the lone X plus out of everyone in the lobby, whoever is going to be playing against Ricky needs to make sure that they solidify a good number of games to avoid a runaway potential.
Yeah,
and that
or
is...
they could try throwing against Ricky.
Well, depends on the match, but
yeah,
it is. Yeah, you definitely know where the cards stand, and they're not looking great despite obviously a 4-game lead from game 1, because things can change extremely fast, and Uoft Toronto is just holding all of these chips in the back pocket.
Yes, and it's gonna be interesting because I do know the playstyle of some of these players, and they tend towards adaptation to some regards. So I'm curious to see whether that's actually gonna make an impact for, I guess, this sort of matchup. But I think looks like we are getting our next matchup, which is gonna be Ricky versus Saggy.
So Saggy went in for NYU, and U Toronto immediately sending out Ricky, which, I mean, this set, if it goes well for Saggy, even if it's not a win necessarily, able to take a good number of games might put things in a much better scenario, because again, there's only 1 X-Rank player remaining on NYU side after this, and if the set's close enough that NYU's still almost winning at the end of it, it'll be a tremendous help. But obviously pressure is on Ricky to play essentially at peak and try to avoid dropping a single game.
Yeah, you're getting a very ambitious right there, actually. Has to break that surge.
It's like it seems on paper that everything looks great for U Toronto, but again, you have to remember that putting a lot of pressure on someone to not drop a single game can sometimes get to a player, and unfortunately cause a couple of mishaps every now and again.
Oh yeah, definitely. As when I was on UCSC, that I remember when we were all in voice chat and stuff like that, and then the pressure just immediately made us lose 2 games in a row or something like that. Yeah, and then you had to tell the players to calm down, take a deep breath, and then so they can lock in and stuff. It's just it's so counterintuitive.
And it looks like we got a pretty good estimate. Speed-wise, looks to be about average for Ricky and Saji in this case. So we'll probably see more of the same. I don't think either player was trying to sandbag to throw things off on the warm-up. But we do have early O, and we are... okay, so the Kaiden opener, I don't think I've really seen that one, but I guess that's what Ricky's going to be going for. Immediately blitzing out to take access to that sidewell.
Looks like he's starting to actually build a good back-to-back with that. I believe it's, 4-5 well, but Saggy's side.
And you can tell after the pause of that eyepiece, I think Sajid was assuming that there was going to be a little bit of the line skim there to help counter things, and it just did not show up.
Yeah, I think what Saggy needs in this situation is a currently like this, with a lot of surge, while trying to bait out Ricky's surge. And that's going to be difficult with the speed difference, but definitely not impossible. But
yeah, sitting on surge disadvantage, but Ricky, again, is looking to play a little bit greedy every little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, has a smaller surge. Saju doesn't have too much of a stack. Okay, has pretty nice stuff. Gets the fractal.
Nice cancel the cheese. Now has that back-to-back of 5 and is trying to go for that pressure. Okay, we're top for the board.
Man, Ricky needs to be careful. That's a clean well transfer.
You could argue that Sagi actually missed the opportunity to punish, but in reality, this is just a bigger well to deal with.
Oh,
It does not have the
read.
needed. Manages to take, but waits too long. It gets punished.
Again, it's like it can feel very compelling to just keep building up that surge advantage, but it's not going to do any good if you get caught off guard with no resources but surge. Because usually a lot of players tend to prefer that to deliver a finishing blow, and if you get stuck having to use it for defense, you're back to square one.
Oh yeah, I think also with timing the surge, it becomes so much more important because there's those. I mean, I've mentioned it before. Pockets of vulnerability. Those areas where it's like the time period where someone is setting up an attack and when they actually execute it, that is when they're vulnerable. And especially with Season 2, that becomes so much more important because you can just break surge whenever and send a spike. And I think like Sagi's biggest weapon right now against RKY is going to be being able to time. But whether they'll be able to do it in this matchup is a different story.
Oh, you can definitely see RKY doing a fantastic job of just keeping the back-to-back surge going strong, able to send that little spike, but re-cheeses up Sagi's board.
Yes, the Sagi's
Oh
sending
my.
that Queen Garp is very dangerous. Might be able to actually get out. It actually does.
Oh,
start
you can see the speed jump from Sagi.
Yeah, maybe he really is starting to warm up a bit. Well, I can't say that he has to get out first, but
Oh,
wow,
I do not like that all-spin decision.
that is such a greedy all
I mean, I guess in certain cases, yeah, you're gonna want to play overly aggressive, but right now, Ricky's up 4-0, so the set is essentially back to even.
spin. Yeah. Essentially, you'd want to go just like how you'd go for T-spins that don't cover the well. You'd want to go for all spins in general that try not to cover the well, especially if you are in such a dangerous situation.
Oh, the double misdrop.
Sagi's side, and it looks like Rookie here is gonna be able to punish.
Yes, as soon as you're able to see misdrops of that caliber in Ricky's case, you know, playing at 3.5 pieces per second is not going to be any issue building up a couple of T-spins. And we're actually going to be see 6-spin out of Ricky, but we're going to extend it a little bit into one more T-spin triple into center well.
Keeping a good well. Sagi managed to canceling it. Has a really good well to break surge. Has a lot of cheese, but I believe Ricky
misread the
will
cue.
probably get out. It's waiting too long.
Okay, the down stack is there. Probably not the kindest of boards to work with.
Honestly, not bad at all. Board.
Actually,
This might be a chance to punish right now. You can manage break surge and Sagi managing to get 1 point. Let's go.
And that is good stuff for NYU. Able to take, again, any games off of Ricky now is going to mean less games off of everyone else in the roster later. Or less rounds needed to be taken off of everyone else on the roster.
Yeah. And I wonder if Sagi will be able to take off another point. That situation of RKY misdropping and that surge break is like very situational, but I feel like definitely possible to get at least 1 more point, especially with 2 more rounds to deal with.
All right,
be
the
very
surge
dangerous.
right now.
Oh,
no eyepieces. And that's 6 right now for Ricky. 1 match away from a 7-1 finish, which would be phenomenal for you, Toronto, especially having the general TR advantage and the remaining players. And, okay, Sagi able to get the T-spin double. Looks like trying to build up a 6-3, and the first initial garbage complements it nicely.
Worth the break surge. Needs to open up the well right now before Ricky breaks.
Oh, the double eye. Beautiful timing with it.
Just fast enough.
Keep in mind, Ricky already building up to the second surge, as you were mentioning.
Yes.
Oh
Never-ending barrage. Especially if he keeps breaking, but it looks like he's going to build and have that big surge.
Oh, no eye. And that's what, 30 spike, I think, from Ricky for the 1 attack per piece round?
Yeah, 215 APM. That is difficult to handle for any player. Well, most players, excuse me.
Yeah, I will give credit to Sajid for that performance. That average versus in that match was about 50 points over what they're generally used to playing. So definitely playing at peak, even though it was only one round. Still very, very strong showing. And, you know, it's not a sweep. Against an X+, dodging that achievement is pretty difficult. So shout outs for that. But as the smoke clears, we've got a 3-point game in Toronto's favor. With Toronto going into the match 3 pick, 3 X ranks left, or I guess 2 in Meppy.
Meppy.
But well, I guess out of like the remaining team, it's, you know, who gets sent in next? Like, because I feel like Meppy could potentially do a really quick cleanup, but you know, if you have the winning advantage seemingly against all 3 players, it's probably going to be NYU that determines the matchup for games 4 and 5.
I think NYU is also running out of players that can potentially compete against the Uoft.
Well, a little bit, I guess, but if we're having that kind of performance against Ricky, then hopefully the rest of the team is able to step up to the plate in the same caliber. Make some magic happen.
Yeah, I mean, when you are in a situation where your opponent is significantly stronger than you, then all of your skill kind of just gets squeezed out that one moment. And it does lead to some unexpected moments, especially if you aren't too nervous. Yeah.
Just double check. Actually, wait, I forgot. I'm in game. I can just like click on everyone and check their TR. I don't need to go to. I forgot. I was going through like the spreadsheet to like find everything. I'm like, actually, I could just. I'm in the lobby. I can just check that like manually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this case, yeah, this is. Yeah, Werche, I think, is probably the highest ranked player still left. Best Donkey's still alive. And Grippa, so it's kind of like 2 mid to high U rank and 1 X. Well, unranked, but, you know, kind of in the same boat as probably where Meppy's at, although.
Meppy being U ranked is kind of like Kuroto when he was D ranked.
Alright, it looks like I think we're going to be seeing Meppy for University of Toronto going into game 3, which obviously already up by 3 points. A win here gives a pretty sizable lead, but depending on who NYU sends in, it could make games 4 and 5 a little bit more tricky to play around. Not sure if anyone feels especially confident on trying to pull the upset over the remaining players, but we're going to have to find some kind of a spark. Oh. Meppy is saying to check the match history. What's the last one?
Check match history?
January 26th, last TR game.
Are you kidding me? This, oh my god.
See, I guarantee if I check the stats for these players now, they're probably still very, very high.
That's very cursed to see. I mean, I literally look at the match history for Meppy, and it's just oh
yeah, it's a golden road too.
It's a golden road, except for the victory by DQ.
That's like the honorary golden road, but that's also the second game of queuing. So I feel like that one, a lot of people were like DQing over the first placement games because sometimes you would just like if you're placing into X rank, you would just get like a B rank that happened to go, 4-0 in their first 4 games, and it's just like, all right, so how do we want to proceed with this?
Yeah. Oh man, they're sending in Grippa. Wow.
All right, so we've got U rank versus U rank allegedly. Essentially,
looks like I see Uoft is saying to go easy on their U rank, supposed U rank, and yeah, so I'm sure it will be a very fair fight, but I think let's see what kind of gameplay we'll see in the warm up.
Yeah, I would definitely say I feel like Meppy is going to be far and away better with the general burst speed. So I feel like Grippa's main win conditions probably going to have to be from winning late game and just kind of like dragging things out pretty well with proper surge play and just kind of tiring Meppy out in this case. Is this pattern stacking? Are we like pattern stacking? Okay, no, we're freestyling it and doing it well. Never mind.
Honestly, I think Grippa's main win condition is how used he is to season 2. Because I think that
that's a good point.
I think there is still a chance for Grippa. I mean, Meppy definitely uses season 1. His T-spin vision is absolutely insane. But whether it translates to versus is a different story. And I think we're gonna have a battle of the U ranks. It's truly U ranks.
It's a good old classic U rank match where, quite literally, you might see 1.5 pieces per second and 4.5 in this same match.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, Meppy.
That's gonna be breaking that surge pretty early. It's going at 3.4 pieces a second and getting into that 6-3. This video is speeding up now.
We can see there is essentially no garbage on Meppy's board. We would be having quite an interesting quick play experience with this current board state.
Yes. They're actually tanking right there. Manages to spew out more and more T-spins, but not quite out of it yet, as Meppy seems to have quite a good amount of clean garbage to send some spikes with.
Alright, Grippa spends everything on the double eyepiece. Meppy, a little bit of a center well. Pseudo spike, not gonna force anything out of Grippa, but it does prevent surge from getting built up.
Yeah. Very unexpected of what Meppy is going to be doing. Grippa is doing a very good job trying to counter most of the garbage, but is always
had
at the
to
top.
spend the eye.
Misdrops the L.
Game 1
150
goes to Meppy.
APM for a full minute, and whether that's an actual U rank or not is debatable, because in U rank I have seen people going 3.7. It's rough, but I mean, obviously
I've seen like the strangest openers at 4 pieces per second from U rank. So like, this is anything could happen.
Yes. There's a lot of upstacking right now, which is probably good in his favor, but it always ensures
Bit of a
that
jagged
he needs
board. Oh, can
Is
maybe
this
get the eye in
punish?
time?
Wait, is this
has
actually
to
time?
sacrifice? Ooh, Grippa needs to
Is
find
Grippa gonna
some
break
sort of.
third?
Grippa's
The
trying
guy,
to tank as much as possible, but Meppy gets out. Oh, the
Wait,
double
no,
wish
he's not
drop.
completely out yet. Grippa not realizing it finally breaks surge, but I think it might be too late.
Yeah, Grippa's win condition right there is unfortunately gone in an instant. Meppy able to recover from that precarious spot and manages to get the second win.
This is why screen watching is super important, because it allows you to recognize when to actually break that surge, and with the ability to time and break surge like that probably boosts you by like at least 500 TR or even more.
And depending on the current rank.
Yeah. Definitely is quite an essential skill to have that will probably get most people at least like double the amount of wins.
Both players doing really good job playing efficient. Meppy right now just able to do a little bit of 9-0 stacking.
Could have been
As-
foresight.
One misdrop, but Grippa right now does not have a lot of resources to work with. Not enough garbage to kind of send back.
Yeah, gonna get into the pattern stacking, but has a lot of cheese as Meppy is slowly but surely opening the board and is gonna start spamming those T-spins. Grippa managing to break it open and having that open well, cancels that cheese, and somehow gets more with that huge multiplier coming from Meppy.
Oh, but
that
this
actually might-
beautiful clean cheese, like nothing but just the beautiful board state for Grippa. And oh, can Meppy
It's a
cycle?
clutch clear! Oh my god.
Oh no!
Is he actually gonna get out?
Oh my goodness, Grippa manages to solidify the advantage. Almost letting Meppy get away, but the 300 versus score is saying otherwise.
That was actually so close. Like, if Grippa slowed down even for a moment, then Meppy would have gotten out. Basically by, like, a quarter of a second.
Yeah, but as soon as you have your opponent, like, within danger of topping out, you just need to be always sending garbage, because the more you're able to push off to your opponent, the less time they have to figure out that optimal down stack.
Needs to cycle right now before. Oh, Meppy
Oh,
missed.
Grippa! has to use 2 eyepieces in the process of the down stack, manages to get to a third, get a little bit more breathing room.
Whether Grippa will realize when to break Surge is going to be a key thing. It's not the only thing. I think that he'll be able to win with also this pressure, but it's going to be definitely a big uphill battle.
Oh, wow! And Meppy unfortunately misses an S-spin as soon as a spike comes in from Grippa, and we're back to even, 2-2.
It's quite close of a matchup so far.
Wait, no way they both just immediately did the exact same open.
Oh my God.
I'm sure some CTL players are very happy about that one.
I didn't even realize I kind of just glazed my eyes over for like 1 second. But now we are into the mid game of all the time, and
oh no, it's a little too tall on Meppy's left side. Does not get the T. Unfortunately, it's late in the queue. 3 straight to Grippa. And things are looking really strong now for NYU.
Yeah, perhaps getting punished a little too hard, and that maybe the lack of Season 2 experience is starting to catch up a little bit. Massive spike by Grippa, but all clear.
Wait, Meppy gets the PC, but it's almost like a fatal PC. There's no down stack.
Yeah.
Okay, there almost was, but Grippa managed to get the follow-up. But that was still just like, it felt like the all clear was going to do a lot, and then just, unfortunately, Meppy was stuck with so much cheese.
Yeah. Unfortunately for the all spinners the PCers where damage got nerfed to 5.
Can't wait to see what PCs look like in Season 3 in like another 4 years.
Oh man. You take damage when you PC?
No.
There's a lot of... Looks like Grippa is starting to get the momentum going. A lot of misdrops from Meppy's side, which is going to be fatal, especially when it's so much easier to punish misdrops nowadays. You have Surge, and you even being able to cancel, and it's just...
You can even just alt spin if you desperately need something to send. And just get a couple 3-4 lines off.
Wow. Additional combo.
Okay.
Managed just enough.
Yeah, 26 spike there for Meppy, plus the extra little follow-up, and that is going to be too much for Grippa to tank.
Grippa does still have a bit of a lead still, but I think that could be taken away at some point, especially if Meppy can start stacking a little bit more cleanly, which I know he's definitely capable of. It's whether he will realize it in time or not.
Oop, Grippa goes for a pretty hefty spike to see if we can get another early top out on Meppy. It's not going to be the case. And Meppy able to get all the way back down through all of the garbage. Grippa has a decent bit of clean on their own board as well, however.
A rough board. Gonna have to do a lot of skimming. Will they be able to survive is the real question.
Well, running out of eyepieces.
Meppy finally breaking Surge at a good time, and we can see that he's so slowly but surely closing that gap that was initially there.
Trying to kind of re-solidify Uoft in the lead.
Yes, if Uoft
CSD
wins this
setup?
one, this is going to be pretty big. I mean, it was already pretty big in general, but still, it's like to solidify the victory would really be something. Ooh, close to the top of the board. Meppy's finding that TST is going to be able to save him in this desperate situation.
Uh-oh, Grippa's hesitating a little bit with some of these pieces. Barely gets to a setup in time.
Yes, well, both players with very open wells. Well, Grippa has to take advantage of choosing to skim, but looks like Meppy is going to try to get, potentially, I was about to say some LST, but is going to be choosing to skim. Now Grippa's board completely messed up with Meppy's board being in the almost the optimal board state that you want to be in. You should play more conservatively, it seems like. Maybe this is all leading up into something.
Well, at the moment, we haven't really seen a lot of hefty surges from Meppy or Grippa. Not able to really build up heavy back-to-back, so a lot of this is just relying on making sure not to get out of position and kind of cause unfortunate misdrops to turn that stack into a nightmare. But, oh, the Z is going to cut in the center for Grippa.
Unfortunately, not enough time to cycle for that T-spin, and it's now 5-5. We're very equal right now, and happy with such good momentum. LST players, anyone who likes LST here?
I think Grippa was also trying to do that off of TKI as well, but and to be Grippa's credit as well, it looked extremely fast. However, there were already just two misdrops kind of like right off the bat, and I assume that's kind of more just the LST blitz is not entirely warmed up. Yeah. But if things get down to match point, perhaps we'll see a quick game or two from Grippa if that's able to take a round.
I wonder if there's a little bit of nerves going on, because now Meppy is the one over these rounds has been taking the advantage. I mean, not just advantage, but the aggression. And we're starting to see now it's that match point. Now Grippa needs to lock in right now, or else it's going to be quite a issue to deal with.
Yeah, I feel like Grippa's doing a lot of down stacking and not really building up a lot in Surge, which obviously is a good number for the survival, but in terms of finding a way to top out Meppy is not going to be doing too much.
I feel like the last thing you want to do against Meppy is solely down stacking. If you let him to get aggressive like he's right now, then it's kind of just going to lead to death. And we do see that as Meppy is the winner of this set. Managing to make quite a comeback at the beginning. And now another win for Uoft.
Yeah, and so this is a 6-point game right now for University of Toronto. NYU has 2 more matches, and essentially they get to call the shots for exactly which matchups are going to be happening. But these are going to have to be 5-7 or better between both sets in order to bring it to, at the very least, a tie, which sounds doable, but one poor match in Game 4 could make things disastrous, honestly, for either team, depending on how the set goes, because 6 points, 1 sweep immediately flips that to either a new winner or just completely and utterly impossible.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep track of the remaining players, and
which actually, I guess right now for Toronto, so we've got Gruber and Kiwi Anime on Toronto's end. We've got Wortjay and Best Donkey for NYU. And because an 8-point difference is the most you can get in your last game, I guess if Gruber wins by a certain number, or Gruber or Kiwi Anime, whoever essentially goes in next, if they just win by, I guess, what is it? Oh, it'd have to be a good number of games to prevent it from being the case. Let's see.
Who should fight against Kiwi?
As a 23-8, I mean, Gruber is also around that same TR, if I'm not mistaken, or at least 23-2. I feel like you might have to send in Wortjay just to make sure that the set isn't over immediately. But then that also, again, it's like, which matchup would you rather have Wortjay and Best Donkey tackle? Because these are both tricky matchups to have, and it looks like for Kiwi Anime's case, it's going to be pretty offensive heavy.
Yeah, he is quite an offensive player from all the times I've seen him. But it's going to be a very difficult match. I mean, okay, so if let's say a Kiwi were to get a sweep or something, then is there any chance for NYU to make a comeback?
Well, the problem is if Kiwi Anime gets a sweep, then if a sweep were to happen from NYU's case, which would be best case scenario, we'd be still at this difference right now, which is 6 favored to U Toronto.
Yeah. We would have to see an absurd upset, like someone.
Yeah. So if Kiwi Anime essentially wins by like 2, I think. Yeah, win by 2 makes it impossible because of the extra winning point. Win by 1 guarantees a tie. So Kiwi Anime essentially after getting, well, I mean, it's not exactly after getting a certain number of wins because obviously it's not over till it's over, but if Kiwi Anime wins the set, it very well could be curtains after game 4.
Yeah, it's a difficult matchup. I mean, we have 2 X's versus 2X plus 1U, and it's and we've seen how much skill difference there is in even U rank. I mean,
yeah.
Even in season 1, we had Doue going 1.4 pieces a second against the lowest X rank and still winning. And it's just
shows the power of timing.
When you go half the speed of someone and have that strong fundamentals, then really shows the difference that like the route to D rank to X rank is actually significantly smaller than from X rank to X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, which another good point as well is if Worche is sent in for this match and Worche sweeps, that's an 8-point difference. So then NYU is up by 2. But that means essentially like the best case scenario is Best Donkey has to win at least 6 games to make sure that it's not win by 6 would then prevent or guarantee at least a tie. But that, I mean, at that point you're basically performing the upset, 6 of 7.
Unironically, would be the upset of all time.
The very much so.
Because these players are basically like 2,000 TR different.
Okay, all right, and it looks like Best Donkey is going to get sent out for the first of our 2 sets.
This is going to be an interesting match. I wonder if NYU is choosing to try to maximize points, or if they have a secret. They truly do have a secret weapon.
Yeah, everyone's saying it's the secret weapon. However, this is going to be the battle of. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. We do see a pretty fast MKO from Best Donkey.
Okay, that's...
This is it. No. It looks respectable.
Yes, Best Donkey is a pretty good timing player overall, but does not have the IP cycle right now. But okay, that said though, I think right now it's looking relatively tame. I think decisions are pretty good. Kiwi is a bit
Kiwi is taking the slow route. I think Kiwi is trying to get information out of this warm-up.
Perhaps, or maybe trying to actually warm up his fingers.
Yeah, well, especially once you get, around that, like, towards the high 3, low 4 pieces per second. You really do have to warm up before every time you play this game.
Yeah, honestly. Spike. Bit of a rough stacking actually could potentially give Best Donkey an opportunity to punish, but I wonder if this is just because it's warm up or if it's like we'll have to see.
Yeah, we are seeing quite a back and forth rally between Kiwi Anime and Best Donkey, but Kiwi Anime hasn't really had a lot of garbage on the board at the moment. And the 7-2 stack, that's going to be nothing but clean T-spins for the moment.
Oh, but the surge that the Kiwi's developing, it might be a bit of an issue. Right,
not a lot of good eyes in the queue for Best Donkey.
Oh, big spike. Honestly, I was about to say that Kiwi seemed like the type of person that would want to continue getting that 20 surge and keep it up. And but I think we'll see that once the match starts, and I think we get like a good estimation of perhaps like some of the skill levels, but I think there's a lot of unexpected things that can happen during the match, and I'm all for it.
All right, and we've got the almost 4 pieces per second burst from Best Donkey, almost 4.5 from Kiwi Anime with the lightning fast LST stacking. Oh no, hesitating with the Z piece.
4.6 PPS. That is insane.
That is game 1 to Kiwi Anime. Remember, they only need to get just a slight advantage to just keep the current advantage that exists, because a 6-point within 2 more sets to go, especially having the TR advantage that U Toronto does, just to,
Breaking
you know,
surge.
oh my goodness. I don't see a down stack right now for Best
There
Donkey. Double O piece is not great.
Yeah, that's one where you'd have to cycle at like 3 PPS to get out at the bare minimum. I will say the one thing I do worry about is the playstyle difference, and I'd say, I mean, Kiwi Anime, I guess there's the obvious speed difference, but really this is sort of like the type of movements that Kiwi versus Best Donkey will make. They're kind of counter each other. I mean, there's like constant pressure versus burst pressure, and Best Donkey is going to be more of the type of person that is going to be meticulously setting up spikes, while Kiwi Anime are going to be doing the same thing, rather going to be constantly moving, and all those hesitations from Best Donkey ends up catching up, especially with that going 5 PPS with the LST.
Oh,
It's a sight to behold.
well, nice T-spin mini to help keep back-to-back right there for Best Donkey. Unfortunately, needs to use the Surge's defense. Kiwi Anime sending so much garbage, even just stacking on top of the current niche drops.
Looks like Kiwi is starting to get used to how much upstack you started getting away with, but that could be a chance of potentially being too greedy. Whether Best Donkey with the punish in that moment is a different story, but it's definitely possible.
Oh, man. And although I will respect the greed from Best Donkey going for that small little dono, things were looking very strong in Kiwi Anime's board. Right now it's a 10-point difference. And although obviously an instant 7 wins is still a possibility that could happen, we're going to need to be seeing a lot from Best Donkey very quickly if we're going to consider the upsets.
Yes, we would need
oh my
we would need
goodness.
someone else taking over his keyboard.
Oh, Kiwi
my
Anime,
God,
what
it's
a
massive
spike.
spike. Wait, is he gonna survive? Wait.
No way. Oh my goodness, that's most of that spike, which, to be fair, was 35 in the extra credit. So big props to Best Donkey for surviving the initial 35.
Yeah, pretty good. No,
I mean, it basically took 2 full boards worth of garbage for Best Donkey to top out.
Yes. This is sort of a matchup I was a bit worried about when it came to players, but looks like Kiwi actually has a bit of a rough board, has to break Surge. Best Donkey also doing so, and this gives up the top of the board with Queen and cannot cycle fast enough to get out.
That speed there, even just the typical 9-0 from Kiwi Anime on the verge of a sweep, and a win here would solidify the 3rd place match for U of Toronto. Looks like we're going with the SDPC spin into some all-spin follow-ups from Kiwi Anime. Best Donkey's looking for a skim, but the well keeps getting covered.
Yeah, and Kiwi has a Surge they can break at any moment. I think that's it.
Well, with the hold of the eyepiece, and yeah, the piece is slowly soft dropping. I think both players acknowledging that there's not much more left in this set. And the sweep from Kiwi Anime solidifies the 3rd place finish for University of Toronto over NYU A-Team. But again, it's still I guess we still play it last set, right? I
Yeah.
believe so. We don't just cut it. Okay, good.
I think we should play the last set.
I was gonna say, hopefully not.
I mean, the points. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter the points, but still, it's you're still displaying the points on the actual stats.
Mm-hmm.
So probably still play the last set.
Yep, and so yeah, Gruber and WortJ will have the finale match, but the overall set is already determined as U of Toronto takes the win. Solidified with 28-14, but we'll see the exact counts as of are we gonna? Hello?
I think probably needs to wait a few seconds or so. Maybe just the internet disconnected. But
Okay.
I think.
I see. Okay. Perhaps that might have also been the case of why WortJ was not able to play initially.
Yeah, but if WortJ does manage to reconnect, then the real question is whether he'll be able to beat the most active U of T Tetris club member, which is hard to beat. someone who's so active.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the stats on paper seem to be quite even between Gruber and Werche. So I would love to see the set because it seems to be a pretty close matchup.
Yeah,
However, sometimes yeah.
Werche, the real question is whether he's been playing offline. If you look at his TO history, then the last time he played was 2 months ago. So, who knows? Some unexpected things could happen. He could still be trying to get used to Season 2. He could be an expert at it. And honestly,
looks like okay. Yeah, I'm taking a look at the general achievements to at least double check that the game has been opened recently. And I believe that's the case. Some of these achievements were updated like last week. So, okay. Yeah, it looks to be pretty good. Okay, and yeah, the bane of all online events, Wi-Fi. You never know what to expect. You always just put the blind trust in it because like when you don't need it to be perfect, it's always fine, right? And then the second you're like, ooh, I'm gonna work on my project the night before it's due, just nope, it's gone. No hope.
Oh man.
Yeah, good luck going to the library and pulling up an Ethernet cable so you can actually get something.
Not gonna lie, it's I've actually gambled with that so many times. Back when I was in college, like I submitted an assignment that was 1 second before the due date, and
you've been down to 1 second deadline.
It's the closest I've been so far.
Holy cow! I think the closest I got was like literally just a couple weeks. I think it was actually this past week was 5 minutes, and it was because I had the assignment done. I forgot to submit it, and then remembered I hadn't submitted it 5 minutes before it was due. I was like, oh, I should probably go submit that.
Yeah.
But like every other time, like I could never be that close to submitting the deadline. I would just crack under the pressure. But like 1 second. Are you kidding me?
Well, it was gonna be like 30 seconds, but the thing is, so I exported it from Google Drive, and then I uploaded the assignment, and then I checked, and there's 30 seconds left, so I checked to see whether the document actually uploaded properly, and it was just a blank page. And so I was like, oh shoot, I need to re-render it again. So I went back into Google Drive, and then exported again, and re-uploaded it, and there's 1 second remaining.
Oh my!
It was so bad.
I was gonna say that the master of timing in the top tier of play from Skyfire. This is how you get better. No, don't take this advice.
Hey,
don't try to do this.
And this is how you stay cool in school.
I remember I had an assignment that I think it was like an online quiz. It took me like over an hour to do, and I watched one of my classmates pull it up at 11:50 p.m. And I'm like, what are you doing?
What the heck?
I'm not going to attest to whatever the accuracy of that assignment was. It was submitted by the deadline. I just don't know what the quality was.
Oh, man. Yeah. We don't talk about also the time where I was almost late to my final because I woke up in my dream 3 times in a row.
Huh? You had a How many nested dreams did you have?
Well, okay, so I was extremely tired, and so so it's like at the beginning of the school year, like the professor, it was for a jazz class, and then he was like, okay, we have this optional research paper. If you want extra credit, then you can go do it. Okay, so the entire class assumed, okay, it's optional. And then the day before the final, he said, okay, it's mandatory. So he just messed every single person up. And so I was like, shoot, I don't want to fail the class. So I spent 7 hours straight. I did an all-nighter. Well, not quite all-nighter. But I spent 7 hours straight writing 10 pages on the history of jazz and just spewed it out. And it was 7 a.m. And I was like, okay, I have the final at 11. And I'm just going to sleep and I hope I wake up. I set my alarm and everything is fine. Until, apparently, my roommate was like, your alarm is going off. And then it was, blazing on for 5 minutes straight, and I still didn't wake up. And I was like, I woke up, and then I get out of bed, only to realize I was a dream when I dreamt that my friend was giving me some like manga for some reason. I'm like, that's not right. So I woke up again, and
That's
then
not
went
the
rushed
final.
out the door, and then I woke up a third time, and until I finally got out of bed, I had to make sure I'm actually in real life, and then I was like, shoot, I only have 5 minutes to get to the classroom, and then but it's like 15 minutes away, so I was rushing down, but luckily there was like a bus that just happened to be there, so I got on the bus and got there on time.
Oh my goodness. I was gonna say, like, and then you get to the final and you're like, Professor, can you just like pinch me 3 times? Like, I just need to like. I was gonna say, like, you just like lived the movie Inception. No spoilers, by the way, but like it's just so many vested realities.
It was actually so bad, and
Oh my goodness.
and then it turns out like 75% of the people didn't actually do the research paper because like who does a research paper in one night? And then the professor was like, oh, I might as well just make it extra credit. So it's just like even he got like a C in the class is actually the A plus because it's like he can max out 125%. I'm just like I look at his like rate my professor and he's at like a 1.9 or something, and I'm like, okay, I finally realized why.
So yeah, things are a little interesting. I see in this in this classroom environment.
Yeah, luckily, I don't have to take that class anymore. So, well, I already graduated college. So,
yeah, I'm almost there. I technically graduated and then said psych, not yet. So we'll get there. Don't worry.
You got this. You're in your last year or something.
Yeah, so I'm in a 1-year graduate program, which is like why I graduated, but I didn't leave. I had like so many people, like I went back to extracurriculars like in the fall, and so many people are like, why are you still here? I'm like, okay, well, first of all, a little condescending. Second off, like, yes, I passed all my classes. I'm sorry. Like, you saw me physically graduate, all right? That's not the problem here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I have to go through all the graduation stuff again this year, and then we'll figure things out. But okay. Okay. All right. Things are a little interesting right here in the Tetrio room called Redacted. That is currently hosting Uoft and NYUA team. There's been a little bit of a shakeup. I think we're just gonna, so instead of having Forte in this case due to Wi-Fi issues, I think we're gonna have some fun finals between I believe the first sub for NYU, which is gonna be Absolute Zero, and just give Grouper a nice good old set to end things off with. Emergency sub was a little unprecedented, but then again, the difference in set count is 14. So there is no overall outcome change. It's just going to be, I think we'll let it ride for now, just with the current circumstances.
Man, you know, it'd be crazy if it was like kind of like let's see, UCSD situation where they had a sub that was literally top 50.
Huh?
Like imagine if it's
wait. Excuse me?
Like they literally have Eric. So like basically, during a UCSC's match, like one of the people was like, "Oh, I need to sub out," and then he was like X rank or something, and then we subbed him. They subbed him out with Eric, who I think got like top 50 before, and then it was just like
sorry,
24,990, and it's just I'm just like, how is this legal?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you register that way and that's a sub, then that's a sub. But
yeah, I'm sure it'll be fixed in future updates of CTO.
What, the TR or that map?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess like if let's say your entire team is like D rank and then all your subs are basically like CZ level, then it's just like you just have the lowest seeding. You just sub every like CZ player in, and it's just like yeah. So then it's just like. You just kind of rig the seating in that sense.
I guess, but then everyone kind of figures out pretty quickly what's happening.
Yeah, but technically there's in this rule set, in the current iteration of CTO, there's no rules for it, but I think that will probably be compensated in the future. But it looks like we are now getting into match.
Oh, absolute! Oh no, Absolute Zero. The Albatross with the TST follow-up unfortunately does not get. Oh, are we gonna swag tower this? Are we still gonna keep it? Question
Oh
mark?
my god, Grover thinks speed diff. That's crazy. But
Yeah,
I've not
speed
seen
diffed by the 40
Albatross
soft drop.
so long.
Absolute Zero is also not using the absolute, infinity soft drop speed,
Yeah.
which is always always very cool to see. 'Cause it's not terribly common, especially as you go up higher in the TR ranks, but it's got its merits.
Yes, the real question is where Absolute Zero can get 1 point, which, I mean, it doesn't matter in terms of the scoring, but it's still fun to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I just realized. Wait, did they just add 8 to Uoft's score on the stream? I just noticed.
Oh,
It's 36-14. I think the set count was added prematurely just as all right, but I don't know if that's. Well, I guess if it's a sub, then
wow,
technically there's like that kind of is still allowed. Well, I don't know.
Hi guys, just unmuting to clarify, but yeah, it's treated as a
we're in a bit
as
of
an FF
unprecedented
officially.
territories here in the semifinals of CTO.
Oh my god, I can't believe Grover's doing it. He's trying to keep back-to-back as long as possible. I think. Ooh, that was a rough one.
Yeah, it appears the backdrop gets burst at 15, but that spike is definitely going to be enough to earn another one. More Albatross. We're going to see Uoft. Beautiful there from Absolute Zero. Gets the 2 back-to-back, and we're going to be doing some 9-0 stacking.
Unironically, I do think that Absolute Zero could actually get a point based off of how Grover's playing. I think he just needs to wait for the right time where Grover is like, I want to get more options, and then he gets punched with the double Tetris, and then it's game over. A very interesting opening from Grover.
Grover is just waiting to time the attack. Not in any rush whatsoever.
Already has the surge.
I think Grover was trying to set up the S triple kick by using another one, but when you have to use a piece to, make the spin for that same piece, you always run the risk of just getting droughted for it.
Oh my god, the surge build up is real. She's really gonna break it.
Oh no, the
spike.
Iris drop! Oh, Absolute Zero almost had a legendary down stack as the option, but
insane.
Because that would have countered a good chunk of the attack, and I think the garbage underneath was still pretty clean.
Yeah, I think it would have been possible to survive.
I think. Okay, so Gruber has done nothing but spins thus far. Okay, no, all right, never mind. Don't worry about what I said. It's not accurate. So Absolute Zero almost able to get to the. All right, gets to the back-to-back force surge. Gruber.
Oh my god! Wait, is this Absolute Zero's chance? Wait, is this Absolute Zero's chance?
We get the kick. Oh, okay. Gruber cycles to eye pieces. Yeah, Gruber's gonna hold on to that quad, make sure it counters to give themselves a little bit more breathing room.
Wait, but the surge break versus
surge break from both Gruber and Absolute Zero.
Miss drop's Gruber gonna convert that to a T spin. Absolute
Zero.
Oh.
Okay, gets the Z spin. Oh,
another
miss drop. Little slippery ass moment. Gruber is greeting for about 7 lines of attack, but it manages to do the job.
Oh man, 2 more chances.
All right, let's see. Absolute Zero. Yeah, 2 more games to try and get one off of Gruber. We see the Albatross off once again. Well, not quite going to be building up a side 4 wide. Wasn't sure if that was going to be the potential follow-up of choice.
Truly, all spin practice into a clean well.
Oh, this is not looking great for Absolute Zero. Running out of eyepieces to put. Oh, 1 more game left right now for Absolute Zero. It's 6-0 in Gruber's favor.
What will Gruber do this time? And he is choosing to wait
we're gonna be
a little bit. He is. Oh, I guess
we're doing
something.
quite a bit of a plonk for Gruber's current board.
Classic nopener.
Nope. I actually haven't referred to Plonk as an opener before. I kind of like that.
I think it's just an opener. Just
misstep!
nothing.
Oh, there it is!
1
And the
point.
no sweep for absolute zero. I think Gruber was trying to go for like a kited setup over a center well, and there are very few ways to build up that stack without too many issues.
Oh, NYU wins. NYU celebrating so hard right now. For steak dinner.
I would be too. That's a hefty upset coming from Absolute Zero, and gets another game.
I
Two
think
back to back.
NYU is getting well fed tonight. Like, kind of feeling like the university is funding them based off of how many times they.
How many upsets you can pull over Gruber specifically? That is the decision for steak dinners.
Yes.
Oop, okay, and the 3 wide, the double eyepiece. Oh, that's not a great stack to down stack.
Oh, this is a
hold,
good
hold,
down
multiplier.
stack to go
Never
with.
mind. I stand corrected.
Okay, pretty good board to deal with. Gruber barely having pieces. Gonna be cycling fast to get out of that one.
I'm gonna guess that was a misdrop with a T piece. I assume it was intended to face downward, but
Probably, yeah.
no, just give it an Absolute Zero a little bit of time to stack.
Yeah. We're taking a little bit of time to drink some water right now, as he is waiting to cancel a little bit more. Probably trying to judge just how much he can, but
No.
definitely overestimate. This is going to be quite a long match.
Well, I mean, Absolute Zero is running the opportunity to pull a reverse sweep over Gruber.
That would actually be pretty funny.
Well, it's in the realm of possibility. Gruber's playing quite slow at the moment, and if they leave themselves, hanging out to dry without too many down stacks available, it is a very, very real possibility. Although we do have a pretty hefty T-spin burst immediately, and it looks like Gruber regaining their footing after some games, able to solidify 7-3 over Absolute Zero as the sub coming in clutch for Game 5. But that's going to be a 36-14, a very strong showing from University of Toronto. And again, well done to New York as well for making it into our semifinals of CTL and putting on a show. And obviously, we'll probably be going on to a break here for a little bit as we do a caster swap into our next match. But I believe there is also the interview channel that we do have as a potential for our winter semifinals. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing that more or if everyone running stream will be in that case. But actually, I need to double check Discord if we're. How does I haven't been here for the interview phase. How does that one work?
I was just figuring that out, by the way. I think people just joined pending interview channel, and we can drag him in and then talk to him about that.
All right, sounds good.
Looks like we got Grippa pull it up first, so I'm gonna pull him in, and then you guys can just ask them questions.
The entire team that you can bring in.
Sure. You know what? I'm down. I'll pull in all the NYU people.
Oh my.
All right.
High game player.
NYU showing up. Hello, welcome in everybody.
All of us are showing up except the one that matters the most right now. Unfortunately, his Wi-Fi is not cooperating with us today.
Unfortunate for work.
You know, Florida's a nice place. It just doesn't have a nice Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Our fallen soldier.
I just don't like Canada. I don't like Florida because it's so humid.
Yeah, maybe that's why the Wi-Fi isn't working.
True.
It's too wet.
It really
Is the humidity that bad on the Wi? I don't know. I mean, I feel like I grew up with humidity, but I don't know. Then again, I did also have suspect Wi-Fi for like a good 2 years because I had neighbors move in and they just like had way too much interference with my Wi-Fi. I don't know what they did. They like sabotaged me personally.
I do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, it's just the typical sportsmanship.
Yeah,
But yeah, so-
luckily it didn't matter. So.
But of course,
because we had the most powerful sub known to man, Absolute Zero. Shout out to Absolute Zero. Like
Even Warchick wouldn't be able to take off a point, so they had to bring in Absolute Zero.
It's
Who
okay.
absolutely zeroed out Gruber.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course,
I told him in VC that I will personally cook him a steak if he got a point, and lo and behold.
Oh,
Yep. Well, there's the steak. Yep.
you cooked 3 of them.
No, just one. He gets a second one if he wins. He didn't win. Unfortunate. My guild was powerful, but he is a sub after all. He had to perform to expectations.
It was like an internship or something.
Yeah, and of course, I do want to give congrats as well to the whole team for the NYU's A team as Seed 5, making it into our top 4 and putting on the show. Very good stuff. And honestly, how was the overall season as well? Like, just tell us a little bit about how everybody got here and how things were getting into the finals of everything.
That was the expected outcome.
As the 5 seed?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think at the seeding,
I love
actually,
that confidence.
at the start, it was really close with us. You have Waterloo and also Berkeley. We were like all like within 50 TR in seeding, so it was kind of, we were like in the mix from the start. I feel like Berkeley kind of got unlucky though by the format.
Yeah. Granted, I feel like we were a bit underrated seeding wise, simply put, because well, first off, we had Work J, and second off, I didn't play my TL matches at the end of it, so like I was like 200 below where I was supposed to be. I mean, I still am 200 below where I'm supposed to be because I am not the greatest TL farmer.
As many of us are, don't worry. I'm with you on that boat.
Yeah, I'm not Meppy. I can't farm TL that easily.
Oh. All right. Yeah, I know Meppy like 10 minutes ago was saying, "Where's the banter?" Well, I think we found the banter. Okay.
I'm too lazy to type in the chat, man. I'll just say it out loud. Kind of the audience.
That's true. Yeah, everyone's able to like see what's happening when you say in VC. When it's in the game chat, like Skyfire and I have to like do like the
narrate it.
Don't shoot the messenger, but all this was said.
You see, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this for the staff.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Being insane.
Yeah.
And thank you, Skyfire, for being very entertaining commentator while we were waiting for Work J.
No problem. Suppose. Yeah. Any last comments you'd like to say before you have to get swapped off with the Uoft?
I mean, there's not really much we can say. All we can say is we'll come back stronger next year.
Yeah. Going for the win next year? At least third?
We'll do what we can.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely will be a high bar to pass, but if any team's going to do it, definitely shows that NYU's got the talent. So looking forward to see you all next year.
Yeah. See ya.
All right.
Okay. Now we get to bring in the winning team.
Are we bringing in the whole team, you Toronto as well?
I mean, they are part of the team, so they should. All
right.
What's going on here?
Right.
Quite a lot is going on here.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome
you know
in,
what's
University of
going on.
Toronto.
We're missing 2 people.
I am Uoft.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we've got a number of people that have the tag I am Uoft, and then we also have I am Uoft. So this is.
He is Uoft.
Yes,
I am Uoft.
You are the whole
Alexaria is
Uoft.
honorary Uoft, and then Tira or Pikachu is also Uoft. Ignore which team he's on.
Yeah,
So
Pikachu
really
was definitely playing
right?
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so
Okay.
congrats again for the whole team. A strong showing. I mean, 36-14 is a pretty good performance from a semi-finals match. Making it into our 3rd place and getting the wonderful Tetrio badges to add to the profile.
Ah, yes, very very important for the collection.
How are the badge collections coming along for everyone on Uoft?
I need Garbo to give me that badge.
Yeah.
The high five.
He's kind of scammed me.
Yeah.
Oh, spend dodging at the in-person events.
Nah, bro. I met up with him and then I didn't know he was high-five him. Oh my god. Got scammed.
Alright,
Time
well,
to
to
wait
be
until
fair,
next year then.
I was gonna say, yeah, I know Garbo's looking forward to potentially going to more land. So hopefully, if we get one close for Toronto or just in general, I know Snow's Infinite obviously is probably. Well, I assume we'll probably see Garbo again from there, but yeah, we'll take a look at the Garbo badge and see how it gets added.
But oh, the matches were pretty good. I think we felt
Really solid about it, right? Walnut, as our team captain. Yeah, he made all the decisions, of course. Definitely.
Nothing that went wrong was ever my fault. I swear.
Yeah.
That's not true, but no, I think today was good. I think we played pretty well overall. The last match not getting to be against WordJ was pretty unfortunate, but it is what it is. Surely there's a show match later, right? When WordJ's internet fixes itself.
Totally.
Yeah, these guys know, bro. Like, we were waiting for the match. Like, I was studying his replays, man.
Yeah, dude, we had to pull up his gestures replays on YouTube.
Oh
It's
my
crazy.
god.
Yeah, no. We pulled the replays from match archives. Started watching that.
Oh, well, I pulled the one from 4 years ago of him playing at ZT Civ, so.
That's 2 years ago.
We were doing a little bit of theory crafting, and we never got to put that into practice. So sad.
Yeah, a lot of theory.
Oh yeah.
So I think the TLDR is the VOD review is coming in clutch, whether that's Tetriel or Gestrous. Oh, okay. And to be fair, I think we gotta wrap it up. We're starting up our finals and we're cutting the time frame. So, yeah, we're that'll be it from us. Skyfire, any last words? We're probably gonna get kicked off here in a second too, and we've got lovely commentators coming on in 2 minutes. So don't go anywhere.
Yeah, the only thing I have to say is like thank you all for listening. I hope you all enjoyed this this match. Stay tuned for the upcoming match, which will happen very, very soon, probably in 2 minutes or so. So keep an eye out for that, and I think we're ready to swap out.
Yep, don't go anywhere. We've got our grand finals coming in shortly.
and welcome back to the Collegiate Tetris League Finals. My name is Cowbow, and I'm with my co-commentator Doue here for an explosive final showdown. Doue, what do you think of the matches so far?
I mean, the last match was crazy. Yesterday's matches were crazy. I know I'm saying crazy a lot, but that is how it is. We have UCLA, first seed. I think expected winners by most players, considering just from the start of the tournament, their strength of roster. But Purdue, I think definitely not a team to be slept on. I think definitely a lot of people were really surprised how they did against Uoft yesterday, and we'll see if they can replicate that performance today and, maybe have an upset. That being said, yesterday's match with UCLA versus NYU was pretty close, but that is because UCLA did have a sub. This time, though, I think both teams do have their full rosters in, so it's going to be still an uphill battle for Purdue, but I'm definitely, I don't think it's impossible for them to stage an upset here.
No, absolutely. Just because one's expected to win doesn't mean that the game is done yet. Both of these teams are going to have to put all of their might and all of their strength into doing it for their school, for their teams, for all the marbles. It's coming down to this match. Once again, as a reminder, there have been two different brackets for CTL running, the B tier and the A team. And, once again, this is the best of the best of both of these schools. And they're going to play their absolute hearts out, I'm sure.
Yeah, and speaking of playing, both teams have actually already decided their blind pick. So we're going to be heading into that real quick. I was looking at some of the blind picks before the match started, and I think it has been pretty unpredictable on Purdue's side in terms of blind picks. UCLA, they've almost always sent out red guy, occasionally sending out, I think one time they sent out a different player, and the match last time they sent out their sub, but red guy is their normal send, and once again they are repeating the strategy this time. But yeah, Purdue's blind pick has always been, I think, almost a different player every single time. This time going for Penetrator GME.
Anyways, Penny, for my thoughts right now, I'm not in the room right now. You might give me an invite, please. Sorry, I just opened Petrio. Holy. Thank you. Wait, there's no way. You changed the name back? Production's going a little bit psycho with this one.
Raised Bread is our room host today, and yeah, I'm just excited to see how these matches play out. I think both these teams full minimum X rank. I believe UFT, or not UFT, sorry, still thinking about the last match, that was crazy, but UCLA, their players, not all of them started X, they are now all X. But yeah, I'm really excited to see Purdue. I think their school's roster extremely strong. The only school participating in this year's CTL that has two teams in the upper bracket.
Oh, two teams upper bracket. That's crazy.
Yeah. Their B team was the 16th seed for the upper bracket, so the lowest possible seed. But it's still pretty impressive that they do have, such a high number of good Tetris players that they were able to do that. But we'll see their A team, the best of the best from their school here, and see how their skills shake out.
Yeah, but speaking of skills shaking out here, it seems like Penetrator doing their absolute best, sending a lot of APM over to Red Guy, but Red Guy not giving up, still alive, and able to find this down stack. Yeah, so far, both these players showing that they have fantastic stacking as classic for an X rank, but, it will go to see if we'll see it in the game too.
For sure, and I mean, if this warm-up is any indicator of how the rest of the matches are gonna go, I'm pretty excited to watch some crazy close matches.
Alright. So far, it seems like the stats are pretty comparable. Red Guy does have a very, very slight APM buff, at least in the warm-up, but, the warm-up isn't everything.
Exactly, and as we go into the main match, I don't even know who has the edge in this one. I mean, I feel like both Red Guy and Penetrator are both very closely ranked. I have heard Red Guy... I've heard people say Red Guy is underranked compared to what they probably should be, but who knows? I mean, I do know that since it's UCLA Spring Break, some of their players are not on typical setups, but they're still out here. They've still made time for our schedule, and they are playing now. But who knows how much that will be a factor in this matchup, as you do see Red Guy close to the top of the board, but very clean wells means he's not going to be dealing with much trouble here.
Yeah, very nice fixes from Red Guy, might add as well. Getting sent up pretty high, but a nice cancel, keeping them in acceptable levels for the garbage. Counter swing back, Penny Trader at the top of their board. Oh, but Red Guy getting a little bit too much garbage on their side and topping out for Penny Trader to be taking the first round.
Yeah, just clean garbage back and forth, but Penny Trader does come out on top, taking the very first point of this undoubtedly close set. So we start going into the second round here. Penny Trader had a bit of an LC going, but quickly cancels out of it, instead opting to use this clean garbage.
Yeah, and speaking of clean, Red Guy keeping it clean right at the bottom of the board, but as I say that, a huge misdrop causing them to break their back-to-back. Unfortunately for them, Penny Trader at the top dealing with some misdrops of their own, and they cannot get out in time. Red Guy finds the punish, tying up the game.
Yeah, Red Guy did have to drop that 8th surge earlier, but Penny Trader's board was too messy, so Red Guy was able to take advantage of that and tie up the set 1-1.
Yeah, definitely still anyone's game here. Red Guy at the bottom of the board, building up some back-to-back, while Penny Trader trying to fix up some misdrops of their own with some quite nice back-to-back, I might add.
Yeah, good use of the all spins, but unfortunately not able to get too much surge out of that. Had to break it earlier. Red Guy did have a bigger surge built up, but Penny Trader still surviving here. Down stacking now, reaching the clean garbage, and you know, really high up on the board, but that is a very clean well. So if when those eye pieces come, it'll be a huge attack, but it seems like it survived.
Yeah, back to kind of a neutral state again. Penny Trader definitely dealing with a little bit more cheese than Red Guy at the moment, who just opened up their board for a little bit of a spike, but Penny Trader clearing the down stack very, very efficiently and straight back to the bottom. Now Red Guy on the defense, trying to find a bit of an opening here.
Yeah, game this round definitely slowed down quite a bit. Both players now bottom of the board, trying to clean up. I'd say Red Guy a little more cheese on the board, and now has some clean that he needs to access. But you know, these players, both X rank, both very powerful, able to just cycle pieces so quickly to reach those crucial down stacks. And yeah, we're back to explosive action again.
Yeah, Penny Trader's board looking so nice here, using a Tetris to cancel here. I'm not sure if that's the best decision, but you know, it's keeping them alive pretty safe right now. Big spike from Red Guy. Penny Trader canceling out, keeping a super clean board the entire time. Red Guy pushed to the top, pressured with so much garbage. Can they find the down stack? -8 on the back-to-back. Penny Trader hits the surge, and Red Guy back with a 12 spike to survive.
Yeah, incredible survival on Red Guy's side. That unstoppable, well, almost unstoppable onslaught from Penny Trader, the immense spike. And right as I'm complimenting Red Guy for that survival, Penny Trader follows up with his own spike. But yeah, it was really, really good survival there. Taking advantage of that one moment where Penny Trader's offense did stop because of the unfortunate misdrop to down stack, but unfortunately was not able to survive the follow-up. Now going into the 4th round here, see if these players can do.
Yeah, so far, it seems like Red Guy does have the back-to-back advantage, but a big misdrop gonna probably cause him to break it real soon here. Penny Trader noticing this, trying to capitalize on the misdrop, but oh, Red Guy's down stack, very phenomenal, able to survive yet again.
Yeah, really good skimming on Red Guy's side, using the perfect pieces there to get out of that tough situation. Meanwhile, Penny Trader, though, setting up some nice T-spins, had the STSD. Red Guy, though, completely unfazed, doing some all-spins on his own side of the board to send Penny Trader all the way to the top. Will Penny Trader be able to down stack out of this? And the answer is no.
Yeah, Red Guy clearly read the cue for that one. Very, very great stacking and great APM.
For sure, and yeah, like we saw in the warm-up, this is going to be really close, both players. Not using any super explosive openers, but instead transitioning into a somewhat smooth mid-game queue instead. Red Guy, though, is the one with the initial surge, has a big stack of 8, and Penny Trader's board, not the best to receive such a big attack when it comes.
Yeah, unfortunately for Red Guy, they did do a bit of a misdrop, but with the all-spin fixes are absolutely phenomenal from Red Guy, sending over their surge, but Penny Trader has an equally great cancel, able to survive at the top of the board. Fantastic cancel from Penny Trader, keeping them alive for just a little longer.
Absolutely perfect canceling for Penny Trader right now. One piece behind, and they would have completely lost, but again, this onslaught from Red Guy is extremely intense. Penny Trader needs to continue playing at this pace in order to survive.
Yeah,
and,
Penny Trader,
you know,
finding
if
the
they can
down
make it out of this.
Yeah, no, exactly. If they can make it out, they absolutely have clean to capitalize on here. Penny Trader trying to find a little bit of APM as they're going down, but waiting on the cancel. Very, very nice macro play so far.
Yeah, exactly. Really love that survival there from Penny Trader, and again, just needs to clear a bit more of this cheese from the top of the board. And Red Guy kind of slowing down here, has the STSD, but apart from that, it would now be at the bottom of his board. Not really any attack there, and now it's Penny Trader's time to strike back. Can Red Guy survive this one?
Oh, Red Guy does have a double eye piece in the well. Penny Trader sent straight to the top of their board, but it doesn't seem like Red Guy has too much APM to capitalize on the board state right now.
Yeah, huge back and forth game here. Penny Trader breaking back to back very strategically in order to survive, and Red Guy hesitating for a short moment, but you know, going into 1 minute 45 seconds in this round, I don't think any of these players have like really hesitated at all.
Yeah, oh, speaking of that though, Red Guy no hesitation on this down stack, setting over 20 spike to Penny Trader, but Penny Trader equally huge cancel, back-to-back 6, sending over the surge from Penny Trader, does take the round.
What an intense round. Can you believe we're on the first set out of 5 here?
Trading lines like Penny trades pennies, I don't know. Absolutely phenomenal so far.
Absolutely, definitely able to cash out on those stocks.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, but speaking of cashing out, Penny Trader trying to cash out in this back-to-back here, building up a huge fractal, setting it over a nice punish, and taking another round. 4-2 lead.
Yeah, really rough sequence for Red Guy to deal with there at the top of the board, and combine that with Penny Trader's pressure there, pushes Purdue into a 2-point lead for the first time here.
Definitely looking good for Purdue's team, but you know, it's still plenty of Tetra to be played, so this match won't decide everything, but it's going to be a really, really huge one for their momentum in the later games.
Yeah, we're seeing Red Guy stack up here to get more T-spins, but those 3 lines of cheese at the bottom of the board could be tough to deal with if Penny Trader has the opportunity to put on the pressure, but it is Red Guy who leverages that additional greedier stack to attack Penny Trader, so you know, using that good offense as a defense here.
It seems like Penny Trader going for this punish here. Red Guy at the top of their board struggling a bit with this down stack. Can Penny Trader find a punish in time? Back-to-back 4 online, but Red Guy is clear yet again. Phenomenal down stack, keeping them alive, and going for some attacks of their own on Red Guy's side.
Yeah, a bit of a misshot on Penny Trader's side, but nothing you can't deal with. Meanwhile, Red Guy had some good all spins in order to preserve back-to-back, but in this situation, it's going to be rough. No T-piece in the queue soon enough to get those T-spins, but now have the immensely clean board.
Yeah, Red Guy's down stack, putting them in a winning position after all of that, but Penny Trader is still in a great spot themselves. Big misdrop from Red Guy, but fixes it quite nicely. Penny Trader at the bottom of their board and looking to just build up a bit more attack.
Yeah, back and forth clean for one side. It was a really explosive moment there, but it is Red Guy who comes out on top in the end, keeping that score gap really close here.
3-4. This is pretty big round here. Penny Trader, big misdrop at the start, unfortunately for them. Red Guy trying to find a bit of a punish, but I believe they have misdropped as well. Both these players clearly feeling the stress of this game, catching up to them a little bit.
Yeah, double early misdrop means neither player going to be, you know, at a massive advantage in the opening phase, but it is Penny Trader who upstacks really quickly, but is that going to pay off? Gets the attack, but Red Guy has the attack and is, you know, half the height on his own board. +9 now on that surge. Potentially could use it in an attack, is going to use it in attack. But Penny Trader, good J-spin to access that clean garbage and pushes Red Guy to the top again. It is 3-5 in favor of Purdue here.
Yeah, Red Guy was just one piece away from the T they needed for the spike. Super, super tough queue, but unfortunate. They will learn from their mistake, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Right,
yeah, we'll see if Red Guy can come back. I know Red Guy is a very, very powerful player in his own right, especially on this UCLA team. But, you know, I think definitely, you know, combine the pressure of going first with the fact that you might not be on the perfect setup that you're used to might tip things in Purdue's favor. But again, it's still anybody's game. I've seen way more upsets in this tournament this year.
Yeah, UCLA team playing on the Guitar Hero controllers.
Yeah, didn't have my laptop doesn't come with a keyboard. I need to use the Guitar Hero controller here.
Playing on the Samsung Smart Fridge here. Alright, but speaking of the smart fridge, seems like these cool setups from Penetrator, giving them some back-to-back, but Red Guy with some nice setups of their own. Back-to-back 4s online, sending Penetrator straight to the top of their board.
Yeah, just doing a big 9-0 stack there for the offense. You know, if it works, it works, and if it happens in the mid-game, take advantage of it. But Penetrator now taking advantage of a bit of a clean on that side of the board to send Red Guy to the top. No good attacks here for Red Guy, just needs to down stack while Penetrator takes quite a while to set up the T-spins on that side of the board, so Red Guy will be able to bounce like all the way to the bottom, feeling safe.
Yeah. Penetrator kind of going for that ST, LST kind of stack, but doesn't quite find it in time. Not too bad for them though. Pretty even game state for the moment, although Red Guy definitely has the advantage of back-to-back, sending over 22 Spike. Penetrator still alive though, with a masterful cancel.
But the Z misdrop, unfortunately, will not be able to defend against that attack. Red Guy 4-5. Oh my goodness, Cowbow, this set is so close. I cannot believe it.
A true nail biter right here, but we'd expect nothing less from the finals of CTL. Penetrator going for this this nice combo, but Red Guy isn't in too great of a place to accept this garbage. Not looking great for them.
Yeah, exactly, but you know, things change so fast in Tetris. The second we describe them, the second they're out, Red Guy. Nice 9-0 well there, able to take it down all the way to the bottom. And now it's Penetrator, kind of taking it slowly. Not finding any super good attacks. In fact, actually breaking out of that T-spin. Not sure if that was intentional or just calculated in order to not send clean to Red Guy, who is very safe at the bottom of the board right now.
Yeah, speaking of safe, it's not looking too safe for Penetrator. Still at the top of their board, trying to find this down stack. Red Guy desperately needs this punish. Back-to-back 9 is online. It's looking real tough for Penetrator here. Back-to-back 10. Red Guy has a huge spike waiting to send. It's gonna happen. Seems like it's cancelled, but Red Guy still is back-to-back.
Yeah, Red Guy waiting for that cancel there to maintain the back-to-back. Did have an opportunity, I think, maybe to push the aggression really hard when Penetrator's board was filled with garbage. But now, Penetrator, an unfortunate eyepiece vertical drop at the top means that Red Guy is going to tie this up 5-5.
It is truly anyone's game here. PCO versus PCO. Neither player finding PC here, but both in a pretty good board state to send some back-to-back.
Exactly, and Penetrator going for some creative plays, I'd say, was considering the J-spin to continue the back-to-back, but is going to play it safe instead, getting this 23 spike, and Red Guy, I'd say now in a dangerous situation, but able to access the garbage, but look at all that cheese.
Yeah, not looking great unless you're at the cheese factory for Red Guy, doing the best to find this down stack. Still digging through a lot, but Penetrator doesn't have too much attack to capitalize on the board state so far.
Exactly, and with a bit of timing, Red Guy is going to cancel that attack, putting himself in a slightly better position. You hate to see those, that's mini secret grade of cheese right there, but, you know, at this speed and considering your opponent is not finding these moments to send lethal attacks just yet, means you do have time to set up some attacks of your own, even if it is just a 9-0 as we see on Red Guy's side.
Oh, Penetrator is super close to the top, but finding a cancel, continuing to receive more garbage from Red Guy, who is just pouring out the APM non-stop. Penetrator showing they're no slouch on the APM department either, sending over some sizable lines, going for a little bit of a cancel due to Red Guy's pressure.
Yeah, sets up a Z-spin, but now I'm looking at Red Guy's side of the board. That is some messy misdrop garbage created by himself, not even garbage, and Penetrator now at match point, looking to take the first set between these two schools.
Yeah, Penetrator just needs a little bit more to close it out, but Red Guy's not going to let that happen easily. Back-to-back is online for Red Guy yet again. And Penetrator, big 14 spike. Red Guy receiving so much cheese on the board. It's looking not so great for them right now.
Yeah, but Red Guy has been shown to, you know, use that timing to his advantage so effectively. We'll see if his opponent can penetrate through that ironclad defense. And as I say that, Red Guy being pushed so close to the top, but the down stack does come through. And yeah, let's see if Penetrator can close this out, because I don't think Red Guy is going to make it easy for him at all.
Absolutely. Speaking of easy, Red Guy making this down stack look easy with a fantastic opening of the well with this T-piece into an STSD. Super clean. Super nice gameplay. Penetrator though, looking pretty good on their board too. Huge spikes coming in, and we're only going to see more in the forecast with a back-to-back 7 online.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of super clean, oh my goodness, I should never speak again, I guess. That's super clean well on Red Guy's side, not able to do anything with those missed drops. And yeah, Penny Trader gonna take this first set. What an insane first set between these two schools. Like, honestly, like, I think these players, TR wise, there definitely is a bit of a gap. It's like 600 TR as far as I can see right now. But I think at this point, like, we've seen the players from last time where they were not even ranked. I don't think TR even matters at this point between these players.
No, absolutely. But hey, you know what? Purdue really needed those points for their finals match here. That was the worst thing I've ever said.
Yeah,
but you know what isn't the worst thing ever? It'll be
one.
the next match coming up where there'll be even better puns for me to say. But yeah, I think so far, both these teams showing that they have heavy hitters on their team. They have great APM, great down stacks, just all around fantastic gameplay, which we would expect no less from the number 1 and number 3 seeds.
Absolutely, but I think definitely something to watch out for is UCLA's main team, which does have 3 X+ ranks, 3 top 50 players, I do believe. Even if, oh no, they are all ranked. Not all currently in top 50, but definitely nothing to scoff at. And it looks like with the first pick from Purdue's side, with Tilvit, UCLA has decided to respond with one of their heavy hitters.
All right, we got Quantum Hornet 4 versus Tilde. Yeah, does anyone know who Kim Chaewon is? I'm not familiar with this person.
Don't think I'm an expert either. If anyone wants to mention it in the chat, shout out to shout out to whoever that is. If you would like to shout that out. One of Le Seraphim's members, apparently.
Oh, okay, K-pop. Alright, we have PCO versus, oh, unfortunate misdrop on Tilvit's side. Nothing too crazy so far, both players just trying to stack it up, build some attacks so far, and just get an advantage here.
For sure. And I think Tilvit is the only player that's currently not ranked in Tetra League in this room, if I'm not mistaken. But that does not mean they're any slouch. Unfortunately, on the other hand, we are against Quantum Hornet here.
30 spike for Quantum Hornet, but even more impressive, Tilvit survives the initial spike and is still alive for this down stack. Commentators curse that so hard. But yeah, both of these players have some insane attacks and insane canceling as well.
Yeah, and it would definitely be important to all viewers to know that Quantum Hornet is currently ranked 23 in the world on Tetra League, so bit of an uphill battle for Tilvit for sure, but if UCLA is going to use this to offset the loss from the previous game, I do think that is probably a good strategy.
Alright, yeah, I'm definitely thinking that Quantum Hornet does have the initial advantage just based off of, you know, pure stats, but Tilvit will definitely be showing some strong gameplay right back.
For sure.
Right.
And going to this first one, TK on Tilvit's side, PCO from Quantum Hornet's side, but cancel that. I thought it was an STSD setup, but it's going to be some all spins instead. And, you know, how do you think all spins, you know, might have affected the meta of like some of these games, Season 2 stuff throughout the tournament?
Biggest change of all spins, oh, besides the attack from Surge, is the ability to keep back-to-back while downstacking more efficiently, you know. But before, you had to do T-spins, season minis, Tetrises, counter 4, but now you have so much more variability with the all spins in order to preserve back-to-back on the downstack. So, lot different of a style in Season 2. But yeah, speaking of that style, Quantum Hornet showing off some of these stylish all spins with a bit of back-to-back online so far.
Absolutely, just seeing that rainbow text on Quantum Hornet's side of the board. I think all spins, sometimes it's something that just happens in a game, but when Tetrio makes it into a game mechanic like it has in this season, some players who either take the time to learn it or know it already can really shine. And I think Quantum Hornet definitely a good example to watch here if you're into, you know, these all spins, using that D spin, now up to an 8 surge, up to a 10 surge with the S spin. And yeah, just
back-to-back 14 online, ridiculous from Quantum Hornet. extending Tilvit to the Quantum Realm out here. 2-0 lead. Fantastic APM.
Does not even need to use that surge, and absolutely devastating attack from the UCLA side. But you know, if Tilvit can't take any points off here, it would be extremely favorable for Purdue, because any points count in this format. And yeah, we'll just see how things go from here. Both players relatively safe on this side, doing a bit of upstacking, but that is a really bad IP switch drop.
I've also just seen this in the chat. Apparently, Quantum Hornet is at the airport right now, which makes sense since they are flying away with this match if Tilvit isn't able to make a comeback.
Yeah, hopefully the plane does not come right at this moment, but I think it's definitely plain to see that Quantum Hornet is, you know, has earned that rank of 23rd in the world, 24.3k, I believe, in terms of TR.
Plain to see is so crazy. That is like a season 2 back-to-back preservation there with Allspin. That's crazy. Crazy setup.
Yeah,
anyway, so back to the game here.
Yeah,
PKI versus PCO. Pretty decent start for both players. Back-to-back is online for both, but I do think that Quantum Hornet needs to break it for this, unfortunately for them, so that keeping up theirs on the other side.
Yeah, very unfortunate there, but using an I-spin there to solve that T-spin triple when there was no T to do it instead. Again, just very good use of these all-spins, and then use the surge defensively to cancel Tilvit's send. This is definitely some Season 2 mastery I'm watching.
Yeah, oh, the STSD from Quantum Hornet trying to punish Tilvit, but not in time. Tilvit barely alive, struggling on this down stack, while Quantum Hornet is looking for this absolute killer spike with the back-to-back 9, taking their 5th round.
Way too much cheese at the top of the board there for Tilvit to deal with. And Quantum Hornet, you know, looking to board that plane really fast, trying to make this a sweep, but let's see if Tilvit can stop that with their DT cannon opener. I think typically has fallen out of a bit of favor. Of course, people still do it, and now you can do a bit of all spinning after your DT cannon to preserve back-to-back, depending on how you do it. Unfortunately, maybe not going to help here. Current back-to-back 14 on Quantum Hornet's side, sends the surge with a, I believe that was a 15 there.
Oh my goodness, a 21 spike followed up by 13. Quantum Hornet is on match point. Can Tilvit find this reverse sweep, or is the broom going to be put down?
400 versus score, both players now. Matching, they're all clear, but Quantum Hornet sends one more line. And yeah, I don't know. I think Tilvit's going to need to make some miracles happen here if he wants to take any points. The I-spin is fun to watch, but is it going to pay off? +8 or -8 on that surge near the top of the board. Is able to tank it, but again, needs to match that. You know, there's almost a 1 PPS speed difference here, so it's going to be really tough to get out of a situation.
Tilvit's trying so hard to get down here. Big 9-0 well, a little bit risky for them, but they're making the best of it. Quantum Hornet at the top of the board, but a fantastic 23 counter spike, keeping them in the game here.
For sure, and Tilvit, it's just so hard to reach these eye pieces though. I feel like Quantum Hornet is still setting the pace of this match completely. If Tilvit wants to get down from here, he's gonna have to work for it.
So tough for Quantum Hornet, a bit of a misdrop on their board. Forced to, oh, never mind, they don't break the back-to-back. Amazing all-spin with the L there. Tilvit's board looking pretty nice on their side too.
Every time I look on Quantum Hornet's board, I see like a new all-spin. It just feels like my brain is expanding, and you know, so is the APM from Quantum Hornet's side. So much
my
over the
goodness. Oh, Quantum Hornet with the sweep for their team. Absolutely phenomenal usage of all spins at back-to-back. Tilvit, though, showing a pretty good showing on their side, keeping themselves alive as long as they can, but unfortunately, all the canceling power in the world could not top Quantum Hornet's stings.
Yeah, and that sweep from Quantum Hornet is going to put UCLA at a pretty big point advantage. You know, 5 points is still within the realm of being able to catch up from, but if all of UCLA's X+ ranks are able to sweep like they probably want to, it's definitely going to be a rough battle for Purdue. But again, we've seen some crazy upsets from Purdue. They still have their own really powerful players in the bag. I think 11T is probably really underranked, so yeah,
hey,
we'll see
who
they pick from up here.
Just goes to show how crazy all of these players are, because, you know, the only crazy upsets I'd be getting in Tetra League is when I play Tetra League and I get crazy upset from playing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I only
man.
recently just made it back to U rank. Haven't been playing too much of the
Hey.
Tetra League this year,
Let's
but
go.
yeah, the all spins definitely can play into your play style. And going here, Oxford Valley, currently U rank, but has been X rank before. I've definitely seen that. And I think UCLA sending out their lowest ranked player here might try to play into their overall strategy, because as we all know, in CTL, losing the third match can be advantageous depending on your point lead and how you're feeling about the future upcoming matches. But if this does end up being a sweep for Purdue or a very strong win, then a strategy like this could backfire depending on, again, how the upcoming matches go, because yeah, JN do have, or I said JN, you see, I do have JN and Kabuzo Pai in the reserve here.
Pravin in chat says when the purr is due. Could we get a purr in chat? Yeah, everyone listening, just drop a purr in chat. Why not? Yeah.
I don't exactly know what a purr is, but if it is due, I probably.
It's like the
missed
cat
deadline.
thing, you know? The cat goes like purr, you know?
Oh.
There we go. There we go.
Well,
Okay.
let's see how this matchup goes here with Mission Failed and Oxford Valley. If Purdue can make it out of this entire match and take the lead, maybe they do have 9 lives.
All right. Well, we're gonna see if this mission is going to be a success or a failure for these players. But hey, there's gonna be some big valleys of lines getting sent.
Yeah, and I think definitely, obviously, as you know, there is some advantage in losing this match in terms of taking points, but I think if I'm Purdue here, I do want to try to win this match as hard as possible in order to, get that point lead going. Because if you can actually establish a big point lead from Purdue, if you are Purdue here, that actually does put them in a very advantageous position going forward, even if UCLA has those X ranks, because I think Purdue's X ranks are really capable of establishing upsets.
Absolutely. And hey, the macro game is very important, but the biggest thing right now is both of these players 1v1 versus 7. But it is a warm-up. Both these players probably sizing each other up a little bit. Don't want to exhaust themselves too much, but it does seem like they're going to be putting on a great showing for everyone watching right now.
Absolutely, and yeah, I do think compared to the last match, this match is going a bit more slow-paced. Probably because the players aren't as explosively powerful as maybe the previous ones were, but I do think there's a lot of things to watch out for, even if it is slightly slower. And of course, I am saying slower, but these are still X ranks or former X ranks we're talking about. So compared to the average Tetris player, it is still extremely quick.
I just gotta point out, Oxford Valley found that solve midway down the down stack. They paused for a second, thinking about the best use of their pieces, and found the eyepiece 30 extension. Absolutely phenomenal.
All right, and yeah, going into this match, Mission Failed, probably looking to try to win as hard as possible, and Oxford Valley, well, if they upset, it's a pretty crazy upset, I'll say that much.
All right, we have an MS2 from Oxford Valley coming out, representing MS2. Going for a quick 12 spike. Mission Failed at the top of their board, almost topping out, but finding a nice cancel just in time.
Definitely unfortunate stacking there on Mission Failed's side, but is going to be able to recover now with a really clean board to the T-spin, and while not able to build up a huge amount of back-to-back, being low on the board, having sent clean is always a nice position to be in. And wow, that garbage spawned right in the perfect 9-0 spot.
Yeah, Mission Failed gonna wait to send here. Accepting some garbage from Oxford Valley, sorry, but a little bit too much garbage, and Oxford Valley is going to be taking the first point with an unexpectedly large attack.
Yeah, Mission Failed, trying to take it slow there after reaching that position on the board, but Oxford Valley not letting a single moment go to waste, taking Mission Failed up so high, and I think that eyepiece was a bit of just unfortunate eyepiece weirdness near the top of the board. Did end up topping Mission Failed out, and now looking at this side of the board, Mission Failed with all that cheese at the bottom. Not looking good, but we'll be able to dance out of this if Oxford Valley does not have any follow-up aggression.
As you say that though, big spike from Oxford Valley, sending Mission Failed even more cheese. They didn't order it, but they're getting it anyways, and it's time for Mission Failed to get a little bit of a defensive playstyle so far.
Yeah, mission failed. Not one to fail this current mission of winning as hard as possible. Already lost 1 point, but ideally don't want them to lose anymore. But again, as the caster said during the last match, it's a lot of pressure when you're in a position where you need to win just really hard and try to not drop a single match, right? Like even if you are the stronger player in that position, the pressure can affect you.
Absolutely, it's like being the following car in a race, you know. It's like, you know, you gotta catch up, and then the other one in front is trying to keep the lead. But speaking of trying to keep the lead, Oxford Valley doing their best to build up a little bit more APM and keep the back-to-back on top of Mission Failed, who is at a pretty equal board state right now.
Yeah, but Mission Failed, I think definitely playing it very safe here. Not really setting up too many attacks on the top of the board, trying to cancel as much as possible. And I don't think this kind of aggression or lack of aggression, sorry, is going to be enough to top Oxford Valley out. Especially when I think Oxford Valley is also a bit of a slower player as far as I can tell at the moment. Able to play in a more calculated way in order to stay alive. So we'll see if these players can build up some attacks, because yeah, not the highest APM game for X-Ranks right now.
Yeah, and hey, the APM isn't always the biggest number. You know, the important thing is both these players are playing for more efficiency over like raw strength, if you will. So definitely more thought out gameplay compared to other players.
Yeah, and here we go. A big attack's coming from Oxford Valley over to Mission Failed, but that queen is just cancelled.
Ooh.
Mission Failed. Finding a bit of an attack, but failing to do any significant damage to Oxford Valley. It is now as a clean board on the left side here, sending Mission Failed to top it again. Very easy clean to just spike with your own eyepieces. Nothing, no extremely difficult spikes to get out of.
Yeah, but speaking of spikes, Oxford Valley forced to waste an eyepiece on the down stack. Unfortunate, but opening up just in time. Mission Failed now on the back foot, but opens up the well quite nicely, going down their board with some efficiency.
Yeah, good cancel by Mission Failed there with the T-spin, and now Oxford Valley in a bit of a tougher spot. But again, these players so defensive, so safe as we head into the 3-minute mark of this round. Gravity gonna start maybe acting up now if these players do end up reaching the top of the board. But you know, I think most of these players play so fast that it is a complete non-issue.
Yeah, but you know, I'm sure both these players realizing the gravity of the situation they're in with this super important game for both teams. Mission Failed at the bottom of the board, looking to find a bit of a punish here, but Oxford Valley down second quite well and keeping himself in a pretty decent board state.
For sure. And you know, when we do come up in a round as long as this, I think two issues that normally don't always come up in a Tetrio match do arise, and we like talking about this, but it's first of all your stamina, because you need to play constantly, and especially with the pieces falling, it is really exhausting to play around this long. And second of all, I think whenever I play around this long and I lose, it feels very bad, and I'm sure that mission also feels very bad for Mission Failed.
It's like, what did I do all that for? Why? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The morale issue is, and like as we say a lot of the times, the one player has momentum. They're feeling good. They're playing confidently. It's a lot easier to deal damage and top out your opponent. And Mission Failed. Hopefully not feeling too much of that pressure.
Yeah, no, I like my rounds to be like 20 seconds tops, personally, but you know.
Yeah,
not everyone's.
I think it depends on how much of an opener main you are. I think like a minute 30 is around like the ideal time.
Okay,
maybe sometimes shorter if you're not like sometimes shorter, occasionally longer. But the second it starts going beyond 2 minutes, I guess it also depends on what kind of round it is. If it's a round where you're setting a bunch of clean, I think I'm still like engaged for most of the time. But if we're clearing cheese for like 2 minutes straight, it's a bit
the tour of the cheese factory goes on for 2 hours. But oh my goodness, speaking of cheese, Oxford Valley receiving a bit of cheese from Mission Fail's huge spike, but nothing too much that they can't handle for now.
Yeah, but Oxford Valley still setting up attacks at the top of the board, but that combo down stack from Mission Failed.
Oh, Mission Failed on the board?
Yeah, that I would say missed shot, but I just think the P sequence from Oxford Valley might have been too tough, where even a non-missed drop might have been really tough to down stack out of. Mission Failed with the fast PC now.
Oh, second PC coming out.
Unfortunately, much weaker than that kind of strategy would have been prior to Season 2. PC's now only sending 5 lines, but it is still a bit of an attack, and you know, sometimes it can actually work in your favor if you're not sending, because your opponent can take advantage of 20 lines of clean pretty easily if you can't follow up off that. But in general, it's a bit of a nerf, especially if your whole strategy is to overwhelm your opponent with perfect clears.
But yeah, speaking of the strategy so far, both of these players seem to be playing very, very intelligent, trying to send lines at opportune times, and don't want to give their opponent too much garbage if they can't capitalize on it.
Oxford Valley had the opportunity to set up a T-spin there, but foregoing it definitely because for safety reasons, not wanting to greed too much at the top of the board. Again, I think both these players very safe, but mission failed now. Given the opportunity to stack up some back-to-back, up to back-to-back 7 here, does send the surge, but what a clean! Oh no! Do not call any board clean before it has been properly sent.
Oh man. Yeah, speaking of sends, it seems like mission failed at the bottom of the board, trying to send a little bit of... Are they trying to send cheese? I'm actually not sure. They're taking a bit of singles there.
Yeah, but now we've got some back-to-back T-spins coming in. Breaks the back-to-back immediately, though, as part of the attack, but don't know if that's the best idea, because I think maintaining the back-to-back is really needed to pop out your opponents. But fortunately, in this situation, not going to need it.
Yeah, mission failed, tying up the game here. Both players playing so safe, you'd think it's OSHA compliant. But yeah, you know, definitely some needs. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do think in a situation where you're playing safe, it is more up to the timing. For instance, in that situation where Mission Failed did send that attack, Oxford Valley had a bit of cheese to get through at the top of the board. So if you're able to take advantage of that time, you can still top out your opponent, no matter how safe they're playing, if your offense is high enough at the right time.
Yeah, it just really depends on the right situation for the right moment. And right now, it seems like the situation is back to a little bit of safe neutral for both players. Oxford Valley getting up the board with a nice 9-0 stack, looking to find this this donation here. But nothing too crazy so far. Mission Failed handling the down stack pretty well so far.
Yeah, it does get the donation, but Mission Failed now has a bit of a mess on the board, but Oxford Valley, instead of attacking, is going to cancel Mission Failed's Tetris here, so is going to be able to stack safely there for Mission Failed. And yeah, Oxford Valley again down stacking to the bottom of the board, but I think the entire theme of this set has just been generally safe gameplay for both players, not trying to give the other player any opportunity to top them out, even if that comes at the cost of their own APM.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you know, playing safe is probably one of the better ways to play tournaments if you are really, really needing those points. So
for
I'm
sure.
liking the macro play so far.
Because one of the alternatives to playing safe is being topped out, being dead. So
yeah, better to be alive than to be dead.
Top priority in this game.
Alright, and it seems like Oxford Valley does have a nice down stack here, but Mission Failed sending a little bit more garbage, delaying their down stack, and it's a lot of cheese for Oxford Valley to deal with. Mission Failed's in a pretty good spot to capitalize on it, but receiving some cheese of their own is going to make that a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, has all this cheese to dig through, and again, not much clean to work with. Neither. I think both these players are players who are aware of like the potential that their opponents have with clean, so they choose to mostly cancel with it, as far as I can tell, or maybe just not send too much, because I rarely see massive wells of clean on either player's side of the board. Bit of a well there used for Mission Failed to send Oxford Valley up, but again, just staying close to the middle, or at least not in a position where they could be topped out by a single stray attack.
Well, speaking of attacks, the Mission Failed pouring on the attack here. It's time for them to capitalize. Oxford Valley is sent up higher on the board, trying to find a cancel just in time. Mission Failed is still in a pretty good spot here, and definitely able to topple Oxford Valley if they can't open up in time.
Now, Mission Failed was getting to the groove of it there, sending out back-to-back, one attack after another, but unfortunately has to break it there. And again, Oxford Valley showing off the survival is able to live out here.
Oxford Valley does have a bit of stuff to work with here, but definitely needs to clear up their board first before they can access the clean.
Exactly, all that clean garbage. Very easy to take advantage of, as everyone knows. But like since most attacks do send out attacking clean garbage, right? For all the new viewers, sending out clean garbage at the wrong timing can be very detrimental. So it is better in general if you can to maybe send out cheese garbage, which is named after Swiss cheese. Very hard to differentiate or very hard to dig through, but usually not as much of it is sent at once with compared to clean garbage.
Yeah. Clean garbage is kind of the killer, and cheese is just the slightly slow down your opponent before.
Yeah, the real way to like top someone out if you want to use cheese is to send cheese so your opponent gets occupied with digging through it, and then send a bunch of clean, as we can see there. A lot of clean on Oxford Valley's board, but is going to be able to top out in combination with misdrops though on your own side. But yeah, these rounds are really going the distance.
Absolutely. Hey, mission failed could be mission succeeding if they're looking to tire out Oxford Valley. Long rounds are not super common for a lot of Tetrio players, as we're discussing. So if one player has better stamina, it could definitely be swinging in their favor real soon.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, judging by these players' average speeds in Tetra League, they both play at around below 2.2 PPS, which is, I would definitely say, slow-ish for the rank, which kind of does indicate they are more calculated players. So I would dare say both players are probably experienced in playing out these drawn-out rounds.
No, that makes sense.
Now Oxford Valley, tough spot, very unfortunate.
Yeah, mission failed is doing a great job of cheesing up Oxford Valley's board first, and I think Oxford Valley isn't quite getting down in time to deal with the cheese and just getting spiked out unexpectedly, but we'll have to see if they adapt their strategy to adapt to Mission Failed's cheese here.
But yeah, any situation like that is basically just the equivalent of if you ever played any other game and gotten caught out. Like you're just caught out there, right? No, just unfortunate piece sequence, very top of the board. But this time around, Oxford Valley looking like in a much safer spot. But now, again, eyepiece late in the sequence means gonna have to do a bunch of skimming here. And because of that eyepiece, is actually able to open up the well. Okay, very impressive.
Yeah, Oxford Valley does have the downstack here. Mission failed, opening up their well just at the same time here. I'm not sure if there's an eyepiece misdrop on Mission Failed's side, but it did line up pretty well for them in the end.
Yeah, but I do think Mission Failed is in a much better position this entire round. Oxford Valley, I feel like, has been on the defensive for quite a while, and even when using that clean on the side of the board, it just doesn't affect Mission Failed at all. Like, all that Tetris just went nowhere. Mission Failed able to cancel a lot of it.
Yeah, I don't know, Oxford Valley is trying to open up their board, which they do pretty well, but Mission Failed, fantastic timing on the cancel, and not taking too much cheese at all. All clean for Mission Failed to cancel with yet again. Both these players are really heating up as the match is drawing on longer, and it's anybody's game yet again.
Yeah, fantastic bursts, a bit of a burst speed gameplay there from Mission Failed, able to get to those eyepieces in time to take advantage of that well. And yeah, I think definitely compared to the last round, I'm seeing much less surge being built up, which again is indicative of breaking back to back repeatedly to get safe, but unfortunately not safe enough there. The one thing that can take down these players, it seems, is misdropping up high on their own board.
Super tough, but hey, what can you do? Both these players at a really high stakes scenario, not just playing for themselves, but playing for their teams and their friends, their classmates and their colleagues. Everything they can has come down to this moment.
Yeah, and speaking of the safety there, I'm seeing Mission Failed didn't even do an actual opener, just cleared lines at the bottom of the board until received lines basically. And I think that that probably plays into their play style.
Oh, big 22 spike for Mission Failed. Oxford Valley straight to the top of the board, and Mission Failed is on their 5th point. Absolutely spectacular for Purdue so far, but Oxford Valley is not out of the race just yet.
Yeah, for sure. But if you're Mission Failed, you definitely want to take this current momentum that you have from winning some of these matches and try to carry it out, because as people have pointed out, if Mission Failed isn't able to amass a massive point lead, then Purdue is going to have to really perform highly against the rest of UCLA's roster, which is very formidable. But Mission Failed actually now doing some crazier setups here. Has 2 T-spins ready to go. Down stack, combo down stack to that one.
Yeah, the 18 spike coming up from Mission Failed. Oxford Valley still alive, does have some clean garbage waiting to cancel. Fantastic macro. Mission Failed doesn't quite have the punish though, and it seems like Oxford Valley is now going to be the one on the offensive with all of this clean garbage to work with.
Absolutely, and Mission Failed there. In a bit of a tough spot, but just has the pieces to down stack. And yeah, it's really going to come down to the timing here of these attacks. Oxford Valley here, no eyepiece in sight. That's going to be lethal.
Mission Failed now on match point for their team. Oxford Valley needs to find this comeback for themselves and UCLA here.
For sure, Oxford Valley now looking to, again with the MS2, very common opening on that side. And again with Mission Failed, just staying low on the board. Completely playing safe in general, not really doing any major opening at all. And yeah, again, it's up to the timing.
Don't need a major opening when you got a major closing. Mission Failed closing out the match with a 7-3 win. Mission succeeded for their team there, but Oxford Valley putting up a solid showing of their own and not letting them take it easily.
Yeah, absolutely, Mission succeeded. And again, in terms of the timing, it's not necessarily like the classic timing of waiting for your opponent before sending an attack, but it's more like the time during the match at which you send these attacks, because again, Oxford Valley basically just caught out there not having the right pieces in that down second on Mission Failed side, just having the right pieces for an attack. And yeah, works out for Purdue's favor, and I do believe the points are now tied between these two teams.
Yeah, and you know, once again, now it is coming down to the final 2 matches, and these are the ones that are really going to make or break it for their teams, because, you know, we have the lurking demon Caboozled Pie waiting to unleash their power upon whoever they go against. So definitely a really, really tough matchup. But it seems like Epic Ewick is going to be the first pick for their team going against Gian here. Very, very strong players on both sides, and it is anyone's game.
Yeah, and here's the deal for Purdue. Purdue needs to win at least one of these matches, which means either Epic Ewick here has to beat Jayan, which is, you know, again, an uphill battle. Jayan, number 63 in the world right now. Or Lemon T has to beat Cab, and I'm sure many of us know who Cab is.
Alright. Starting off the game here, Epic Ewick with... I'm not sure this PC Loop opener. I want to say... Is that Jaws? Am I wrong? There's no way, right?
Maybe a bit of missed it there. I was looking at the chat there during the warm-up, but yeah, you know, I'm sure both of these players are very prepared in terms of like potential PC strats. Epic Ewick here though with the advantage here, and again, Jayan wasn't able to play yesterday because of traveling conflicts. UCLA is on spring break, but now here playing today. But I'm sure that is not going to affect his gameplay at all. Still playing at an X+ rank caliber.
Yes, speaking of X rank caliber, yeah, Epic Ewick made like 7 misdrops and they almost got out of there, but Gian found the punish quickly. Definitely some crazy down stacks available on both of these teams, but yeah, we're gonna be seeing a fantastic match coming up here.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we are gonna have to do a bit of rejoining shenanigans because of the board swap, you know how Tetrio is, but we will be going to the main match really quickly after this, so. Good luck to both of these players.
16-16 coming in for this match here. Tie game. This pressure is really, really going to be on for both of these players. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and I think if you're Purdue, obviously you want to win, but I think this is the upset you're looking for the most because, you know, who knows? Lemon T surprised everyone by beating RQI yesterday, and I was going to say it's going to be much easier to get this upset than beating Cab, but yeah, there needs to be at least one big upset here on the side of Purdue in order to make this win happen on their side, as Jayan does take the first round, unfortunately, for Purdue here.
Yeah, double SDPC from both sides. Gian going for the spin variant and Epic Ewick going for PC variant. Seems like Gian is in a pretty good spot right now at the top of the board with a lot of clean to work with.
Yeah, Jayan just staying clean here using the L spin to get a bit of back-to-back. Unfortunately, has to break it there, but is going to continue to put on the pressure for Epic.
Oh,
As
but
he does try to access the clean, and
yeah, we do have the epic down stack here from Epic. GN at the top of their board, trying to find the down stack, which they do. 14 spike straight to Epic, who's trying to find the down stack desperately. Can they get it in time at the top of their board? Reading for the T-spin, not the right play in that scenario, and GN is gonna capitalize that. Take the second round.
O-piece placement, unfortunately, is going to mean that the next piece does top them out. I don't know if Epic saw in that moment, probably not, but yeah, going into this next round, I think Epic definitely, again, the underdog, but we are seeing some excellent play on his own side, so nothing to count him out yet.
Yeah, definitely close for both players, but back-to-back 5-6 breaking on GN's side, but Epic still has it, sending over the surge. GN at the top of their board, finding the down stack just in time, setting over 10 spike, but Epic cancel is fantastic on their side, keeping himself in a really, really good board state.
Yeah, on JN was in such a tough position, but unfortunately for Epic the board was really difficult to find any attacks in, and now it's JN who has to completely reverse the situation, sending Epic to the top.
Looking really, really tough for Purdue right now. 3-0 lead for GN. Can they close it out, or is Epic gonna crawl back from this this setback?
We're definitely hoping that Epic goes crazy mode here against JN. Nice all clear there, going for
huge
the
misdrops from GN. Oh no, I've done that before. SDPC, you just really want to strut it out, and sometimes it happens. You know, the pieces fly everywhere. You just start crying. Maybe just me. But yeah, anyways, back to the game here. MS2 from GN, really nice. But Epic with the PCs coming out on their side. GN handling the APM pretty well with the cancels and breaking back-to-back 20 surge.
Yeah, you know, I think if that was Season 1, those PCs probably would have killed, but...
Yeah.
It is Season 2, the PCs are nerfed, and the misdrops are going to be fatal if you can access that garbage.
4-1 lead for GN, looking tough for Epic but nothing they can't come back from so far. A lot of clean on their board. In a pretty good spot, I'd say, but so far GN's back-to-back is starting to loom over Epic back-to-back 4-5 is online for GN.
Back-to-back 6 now, but the board has been messy. Gonna have to bounce back out of that. But again, this kind of offense from JN means that Epic needs to down stack almost perfectly, and this is gonna be fatal. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 5-1 lead for GN. Looking great for their team so far. Epic gonna have to pick up the pace if they want to make this comeback in time.
That goes for the reliable TSD. I believe that is the setup there on the right side. But again, not able to really do it quickly enough in order to put JN in any threat, and JN definitely going to use that clean well there, stacking it away so that the wall remains open and can still do T-spins and forcing Epic to break that surge.
Yeah, Epic did have some back-to-backs starting up, but wasn't able to keep it so far, playing a little bit more defensive on the other side.
And JN just, you know, solo on the board, especially combining that with his incredible offense here, just makes it so hard for Purdue to gain any traction at all, but looking for a situation where I think they can't take advantage of that. Probably just setting any big attack up and waiting for a misdraw, perhaps.
Oh my goodness, GN sends over the surge. Epic was in so much trouble, topping out for a 6-1 lead on GN's side. Fantastic for UCLA, not so fantastic for Purdue, but the game is not over yet.
Yeah, but this sheer point advantage that can be gained by UCLA from this round could be really difficult for the next round to catch up with. And oh my goodness, Epic actually survives that. You know, the Wells is such a good place on JN's side. I didn't even want to mention it, but being able to survive that definitely does swing the momentum of the round a bit back into your favor as long as you can get rid of these misdrops.
Yeah, small misdrop on Epic side, opening up the wall really quickly just in time as GN starting to push on more offense. Back-to-back 7 is online, but GN misdropping the eyepiece, forcing the break to back-to-back. Epic and now the one with the clean, but receiving so much garbage. 29 spike from GN. Can Epic make it down from this? Canceling just in time.
Goodness.
Oh my god. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Oh, okay. So JN typed GG after that spike into the chat, and then when Epic downstacked, then he typed a nice try. You know what?
No
maybe so far ahead in this round, but definitely not out yet. Not gonna take that disrespect from his opponent.
Oh my!
Continuing to play. If he wins
Epic
this round,
Ewig
it's
is
a
still in this.
disaster.
This is crazy. Epic Ewig trying so hard to make this comeback at the bottom of the board, ready to send some attacks straight back to Gian.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Jayan's still in the lead in this round, but if Epic does win here, it's a classic never BM moment, you know.
I think it was probably unintentional, but you know, yeah. Epic Ewig going for a pretty nice counter spike here at the bottom of the board, playing it pretty safe and trying to build up some back-to-back and get their offense going.
Oh my goodness, that was a very funny moment, but you know, probably not as funny for the players here, especially Epic Ewig, who is still locked into this match very well, having able to survive that disastrous spike. And oh no, misstep on Jayan's side. Is it gonna happen? Not yet.
Epic Ewig trying to cancel off a bit of this garbage, keeping themselves in a super clean board state right now. But Gian at the bottom of the board, sending over a lot of APM back-to-back fours online. Epic Ewig spiking back, but it seems pretty even for both players still.
Yeah, both players now much lower on their board, and of course, in this kind of situation, in a vacuum, the amount of offense Jayan can pop out is probably higher, but oh, now looking at a bit of a messed up board that Jayan has to stack in a way that breaks back-to-back in order to access all the clean garbage, but it's very well still in it.
Yeah, and speaking of still in it, it's going on to 2-minute 40 game, almost on 3 minutes. Both these players refusing to give up, no matter the odds. Epic Ewig back-to-back online at both players super high up on their boards. Who's going to be getting down first? And it seems like it's Epic Ewig. Gian pressured to the top of their board, but still alive and kicking for this counter spike.
Definitely the longest round here, but unfortunately uses of the TPs on Epic Ewig's side with a combo downside on Jayan's side. Not going to send too much garbage, but the cheese is going to be annoying and a hassle to get through. And definitely the longest round in the set so far, going on to 3 minutes. Reminding me of last round, but way more explosive and way more, you know, just absolutely crazy moments happening.
Ooh, we're gonna see this crazy downside from Epic Ewig. What a crazy misdrop! Oh no, this is disastrous! Can they get on in time? Epic Ewig trying so hard on the downside, but Gian taking the game for UCLA. Very decisive win, but almost on the comeback for Purdue. Epic Ewig, I believe you did a fantastic showing. Fantastic showing.
Yeah, honestly,
man.
A bit of a hilarious moment in the middle of the round there, and of course, Jayan maybe learning from the results of that round, saying GG after the top out this time.
Anyways, it is all coming down to our final match. The last player remains for both teams, and it seems like Caboozled Pie is going to be facing off against Lemon Tea here.
And hey, let it be known that if Lemon Tea sweeps here, Purdue wins.
You know what? Fair enough. Perhaps Caboozled Pie reaching old age and doesn't have the same strength that he used to. Who knows?
So here's a fun fact. So when Uoft and UCLA faced off during the Swiss stage, RKY took 3 points off Caboozled Pie. When RKY and Lemon Tea faced off yesterday, RKY took off 1 point. So RKY had a harder time against Lemon Tea than Caboozled Pie.
That's kind of insane. That's kind of insane.
Who knows the true power of Lemon Tea here? Will it be unleashed, performing like crazy against RKY in the game yesterday?
Well, we'll see if they still got it today. Looking like Caboozled Pie starting off strong. Back-to-back 7 online already in the blink of an eye. Back-to-back 8 continuing on, but Lemon Tea with a sizable counter cancel here. Bit of a misdrop on their side, though. Not looking too great for them. Cab pushed up pretty high on their side. Looking a little bit tough so far.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, this is just a warm-up. But I think you definitely don't want to show any weakness, even though this is normally the time to mess around sometimes, for some players get the nerves out of the way. Lemon Tea absolutely locked in, trying to take down this, basically the titan of the CTL here.
Yeah, absolutely. Not just CTL, but Tetru at large. Caboozled Pie, very notable tournament player as well. But yeah, keeping up the offense here. Lemon Tea trying to find the down second time. Barely, but Caboozled Pie's offense is unrelenting. Back 5, continuing on to take the warm-up here.
All right, let's stop talking for 0.5 seconds because they redeemed the redeem.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Yep. Perfect. Welcome back to the
Anyways.
game here. Yeah.
Well, you know, it would be crazy for Purdue if they could make, you know, all the spectators stop talking in awe as Lemon Tea's completely sweeps Kaboozle Pie. But you know what? I'm rooting for them. You're not supposed
So
to be
true.
biased, but of course you want to root for the underdogs. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
Kaboozle Pie, absolutely not an opponent you ever want to take advantage of or consider for granted. That is just an absolute demon on that side with the 230 APM, with the 430 versus score.
Oh my goodness, 18 spike from Kaboozle Pie taking a decisive first round against Lemon Tea.
Yeah, and unfortunately that is not going to be a sweep, but you know, if Lemon Tea sweeps from this point on, you can still tie the score.
Yeah, absolutely. Kaboozle Pie going with a bit of a PC no here. At the top of their board, Lemon Tea trying to pressure, but Kaboozle Pie has some fantastic offense. Back-to-back 7 is already online. Lemon Tea in a disastrous position, and Kaboozle Pie taking their second round.
Yep, and there we go. That is going to be it in terms of point total. That is no longer a surmountable lead for Purdue, so unfortunately for them, and very fortunately for UCLA, they are going to lock in their victory. But of course, we're still going to play out this match because, you know, what is the CTL? And honestly, what a great match we ended on. These top players on both of these teams.
Yeah, and hey, back-to-back 8, Cap taking this third round. Both these players are going to give it their all for this final match, no matter what the score is.
Yeah, and again, if you were watching yesterday, Lemon Tea did some absolutely amazing things, absolutely amazing gameplay, and you know, if Lemon Tea is able to win this set, that's like a victory in Purdue's hearts, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of victories, Kaboozle Pie taking another round victory, 4-0 lead for him. Lemon Tea on the back foot, but not out of it just yet.
Yeah, but again, Kaboozle Pie not gonna let, you know, the fun fact in that comment slide from Lemon Tea that did say we're gonna win. Not gonna let that slide, and probably trying as hard as possible to make this a sweep on his side. I definitely wouldn't, or I would understand that mindset there from Cap's side, but yeah, again, Lemon Tea maybe a bit frazzled from the early matches, but again, still able to open up these wells. But Kaboozle Pie using that timing on his side to not receive any threat at all. Now up to back-to-back 9, back-to-back 10, sends the surge. Not going to top out, but this upcoming APM is probably going to do it. As I say that though, Lemon Tea with the down stack and the survival now just needs to get through all that cheese to get to a more stable spot.
All right, Kaboozle Pie going for a bit of an upstack here. Back-to-back 5 is online. Back-to-back 6 breaking. Lemon Tea at the top of their board, but still alive, ready to find this down stack.
Massive well there for Lemon Tea, able to use that to cancel a lot of that attack from Kaboozle Pie, who is now reestablishing that surge, now up to a back-to-back 10, back-to-back 11 incoming with the J-spin, making it back-to-back 12. I love counting numbers. It is so fun. T-spin coming in back-to-back 15. 16. At what point is he going to cash out on this surge? It is going to be at 16. A huge attack to Lemon Tea's side. The O pieces aren't in the right spot for the down stack.
Yeah, looking really tough for Lemon Tea here. Dealing with so much APM from Cap, like a tidal wave, but managing to keep it going just a little longer. Cap doesn't want to see that happen though. Back-to-back 12 is going to be it for him.
Just a rough spot there from Lemon Tea. Now down 5-0 and probably looking to take a point. Again, Cap not untouchable. Has lost points to other people before with RQI being the leader, but I think it'd be cool to see a reverse sweep here from Lemon Tea. Not gonna happen on this one.
It could still. This is the one. It could happen on this one.
Yeah. You cast a curse there for foretelling the reverse sweep one by saying that at 5-0, but who knows?
All right, Kaboozle Pie going with a quick TKI here into an LST, perhaps doing it for 4 assists out there. We'll have to see. Back 5 online, back 6 from Kaboozle. Yeah, a huge 23 spike from the LST. Lemon Tea trying to find the cancel with the T-spins. Doing fairly well so far. Still alive. Going for the down stack.
Definitely still survivable, but a lot of cheese on that board. I do not think that is a good companion for Lemon Tea. Probably not drinking both of those at the same time, but still can reach it down. It's gonna be a no. And with the 22 spike, as the L piece falls, UCLA are going to be your CTL champions. As soon as
Ucla,
this
a very
ends.
decisive
It's gonna
victory.
ruin my timing on that one. Damn.
The piece is gonna just wait a sec. Just wait a sec. It'll happen. It'll happen. Eventually, someday, some universe.
I just missed the the old Tetrio where they had the rainbows at as like the spike gotten bigger. We could have seen that rainbow extend.
Oh man. But hey, the gold at the end of the rainbow is going to be going to UCLA after this game. Caboozle Pie taking the victory and taking the CTL Collegiate Tetris League Series for UCLA. Fantastic showing from all the players, and especially congratulations to Caboozle Pie and the rest of their team at UCLA for the gold.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic performance there from UCLA. Their team, of course, they were the expected winners, but again, like, you can never discount the improvement that these guys go through throughout the team. I remember last year when Caboozle Pie was talking about working with the team members to improve their skills, and I think, again, a lot of that's transferred to this side because their team is, I think, for all intents and purposes, almost the same team. They just swapped out Golden Eggs for Quantum Hornet, which, as crazy as that is, like, that's an upgrade. So really huge shout out to Caboozle Pie's team there, UCLA, the entire team, and still shout out to Purdue. They put up a really strong fight against the #1 seed. I remember UCLA early on in the upper bracket were dropping some crazy scores on their opponents, but hey, 32-17, definitely not a score to scoff at, especially when against the entirety of their A team.
But hey, goes to show that Caboozle Pie didn't even play that much in the final round. It's really the effort that he's put into coaching and fostering the teamwork for the team to improve that is putting UCLA in this dominant position for their team. So, really goes to show not just a one-man team, everyone in that team is fantastic in their own right, and really working their hearts out for it.
Yep, absolutely. And we do have some members of both of the teams in the pending interview section. So let's start with Caboozle Pie here. Let's drag him in.
Welcome, Caboozle. Congratulations on your victory for your team.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you have anything you wanted to say about the match or your team in general? How do you feel right now?
Feeling pretty good. We did not play this match under the greatest of circumstances because, it is spring break for those of us on the quarter system. So a lot of our players are all over the place. I think Jayan is playing on his laptop using hotel Wi-Fi. Oxford Valley is also using hotel Wi-Fi. But, as always, the team played great. Made sure I didn't have to do too much work there in the last set. So obviously it's always a team effort with CTL.
Of course.
And also shout out to Purdue for getting that crazy ass upset yesterday. Nobody saw that one coming. That's what I can say.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think everyone expected the rematch of last year, UCLA versus Uoft, but they definitely showed up yesterday. What do you think in terms of just the general skill level across the upper bracket you played though? Sure it's pretty different from last year.
Definitely. The first couple rounds were a lot more competitive. I don't know how many of you saw the unfortunate events that occurred in our match against NYU in the group stage.
That meme was really good. We'll be seeing that later.
we'll ignore that match. There were a lot of very good and competitive matches early, especially for the people lower on our team, like Red Guy, Oxford. They had a lot of really good matches really early, which I thought was quite nice about the format this year. Oh, one extra thing I'd like to mention is that, yesterday I watched RKY fall victim to something that I also fell victim to, actually. Because LMNT is a very particular player in that he will blow up really good players because he has insane counter spike ability. If you send clean to LMNT, you get abused really bad. And that's kind of the reason why I went into that last match playing very defensive and then only speaking up when I knew I had an advantage, because I was really afraid of that happening to me too. So I had to make sure I adapted my playstyle for that match in particular.
No, honestly, very smart. Yeah, we noticed that, he didn't really do too many explosive openers, a lot of TKI and whatnot. So yeah, definitely paid off for your final match there, that's for sure.
But yeah, you all will be seeing probably some picture of Ramen with some CTL trophies in the next month or so. So yeah, thanks again for hosting though. It was a very fun rendition of CTL. I'm looking forward to it next year. We will be back, and we will be better than ever. So, yeah.
Inspiring words, Caboozle. Thank you again, and congratulations to you and your team once more.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, shout out UCLA for participating.
All right.
All right.
Let's see. Did we have another interview going on?
We have another member of Purdue. I think this is sorry, I can't match your description. Is this Lemon Tea?
Oh yeah, it's me.
Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Fantastic showing, I will say. You know, even though you didn't take it for your team, you did your absolute best, and you had some fantastic counter spikes there. Great job.
Yeah, like I don't know. I try my best. It is what it is.
Well, I mean,
Also, yeah.
you had Caboozle Pie saying about how he had to specifically prep and change his playstyle around you, so I think you can definitely be proud of that.
Oh, wait, what? You just mean self-righteous. Like, you don't need to change your playstyle against me. Like, you are a top 5, bro. You can go like 5 PPS, 4 PPS. Like, it doesn't matter how you play. You can 4-line me every game and still win this.
Maybe, but hey, honestly, I think your team performed really well this time around. Again, the upset from yesterday, pretty exciting to see. And yeah, just anything overall you want to say about your experience here at CTL tournament?
Yeah, honestly, like, thank you everyone for organizing this and putting in effort. It's made my weekends, well, it's added something to look forward to every weekend, right? It's like, well, after this entire week of doing schoolwork and whatnot, it's a time to just get together with my friends and then plan out how we're going to tackle our next opponent. And then, yeah, just gather together as a community and then show our competitive spirit. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you yet again. Yeah, just wondering, is there anything that would have changed with like the team's format for your game against UCLA that would have made the outcome different? Do you think there's anything different your team could have done?
Well, maybe if like Zynex and CapDad lowered the prices to something affordable. Like $400 is a lot. Like, do you have a discount coupon or anything?
Oh, that's crazy. Maybe if you guys are in the finals next time, you can use a code CTL finals in your bribery to get a 50% off. You know, maybe.
Funny.
Yeah, I think besides that, like, this time around, our drafting wasn't quite optimal. Like we're at a deficit no matter how much you look at it. And it's quite hard for us to put together like a plan to move forward. So, I don't know. I think this time it was just a wash. There's nothing you can do about it.
But hey, you know, you all fought your hardest, and you know, we all saw that here in the commentators booth as well as in the chat. So you guys should be proud of your work you did.
Yeah, honestly, that's a good mindset to have, right? Like, it's not the destination, it's the journey and the people we meet along the way. You know, how we got here, not that we're here. You know.
Hey, second place is still something to be proud of, for sure.
Yeah. I'm super proud of it. I'm sure my team is super proud of it, and yeah, we'll be back next year.
Sounds fantastic. Can't wait to see you.
Thank you guys again. Commentary's great. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
See ya.
All right. Take care.
All right. With that, that is going to be all our matches for CTL. Thank you everyone for coming, and we do have a showcase of some of the art that we did. We had on CTL this year. We had weekly art and meme showcases, so we're going to be transitioning to that in a bit, and yeah, let's see some of the showcases here.
Oh my goodness, where is this? Yeah, so basically this one I'm quite familiar with. This is the prison that I go to at the school. Yeah, this is okay, this is SFU, and the designer is a prison designer, so it kind of looks like prison. Anyways, oh, this was CTL, yeah, or not CTL, the CTL picture for Snow is Infinite that I was unfortunately unable to attend because I was in the Guilty Gear Strive bracket, getting wrecked. But yeah, some famous faces in here. If you know, you know. But it was great getting to meet a lot of these people for the first time. Oh my gosh, Carbuncle, who did this one? Goo goo! So cute.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's really cool to see like the community stuff in here. Like everyone, not just how like people with their teams, but even like people using CTL to meet like other Tetris players in places like Snow's Infinite. It's really cool.
Oh my goodness! Wait, is this who I think it is?
Probably. I think this is Waterloo. This is by Mitsu, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like Mitsu's art. Wow, much team counterpick. Subscribe, Teto.
Shout out to our mascot or our logo designed by.
Oh, this was done by Mango Lemon, SFU Esports with a buff CTL, man. That's so awesome. Holy. Yeah, this is what I imagine I look like in a suit, but it's totally not me. Like, I wish, dude.
I mean, next time you can show up to commentary with like a giant T-piece on your head, just like a box to put your head in.
What is this? This is so awesome. Put the square in the square hole.
I love this one.
Oh,
this one looks so funny.
funny.
I need to like scroll up in the chat here to see who drew these. I think this was
so big.
this was one of the ones from Wilfrid Laurier University.
Oh, WLU, nice. Oh, this is cute. All right.
Yeah,
it's just crazy that. Oh, you matched. Nice. But yeah, it's crazy that CTL as like a university group where everyone comes together from different walks of life. It's crazy to see all the different art that people do to show their appreciation for the community.
Yeah, I like how all the team members like personified there, and oh look, this one's NYU. Yeah, so many people participating in this.
Oh man, must read T-spin. Go down.
Have you ever like been in a call while playing Tetris and then the person in your call tells you to send one more line and then you just explode?
Yeah, like just send anything, one line, and just skim for 5 minutes. Yeah.
The go down is a pretty.
Oh boy.
It happens.
It happens.
But yeah, I think that's all the art we had to showcase from this. Thank you to everyone who drew something. And yeah, I think we also have the meme contest here. For
oh my goodness, what is this?
Oh, is this what I think it is? Is that loss? Maybe we'll have to see it again.
No, wait, please no.
Oh wow! Like, is this a whole custom comment? I just probably like replaced the text, but what was your favorite CTL meme? NYU to Science Saver.
Oh dang it!
The Radix flip note. All right, totally legal.
That's still
CTL
gambling. Yeah, that's us saying please do not gamble on CTL matches. Unfortunately, we do not officially condone gambling on CTL matches.
I unofficially condone it. Wait, say what?
Please don't say that.
Then how do you intend to kill us?
Okay.
Oh no, I can't kill you. But my buddy can.
Yeah, I do remember last year the NYU and the Science Saver rivalry was real up there.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy.
It's kind of a death taxes and UCLA U of T.
I do remember like very first year of this version of CTL when people were like, oh, which school are all these people gonna go to? Which school is Cap gonna go to?
The recorder nose thing was so legendary. Oh my goodness.
Repeat of the donation goals from the previous years. Very, very fun. Oh, and here's the Tetris video that WLU also did. With our mascot Colette, our bot developed by Wiz. Shout out Wiz again.
Yo.
You know, here's our chill hopper video. I always love these. This one, and the one that mentioned by Cav, the unfortunate results that happened in their first meeting.
Tigress.
Oh no.
I love the chill hopper Kung Fu Panda edits.
Right?
As you wish. Let's finish this.
Oh no.
Fire!
Absolutely cooked with that one.
No, hey, their rematch yesterday way closer.
Grippa kind of goated for that one.
Yeah, legendary performance by Grippa there to secure the 1 point. And again, shout out not only just Chill Hopper for that meme, but everyone else who made memes and arts for our contest. And yeah, just thanks everyone for participating in CTL. Are we doing the shout outs from here or
Is Blue gonna okay, she got
yeah. If you want to say anything about this or
Very well.
we just running it?
I can speak here if you would like.
Sure.
Yeah. So, thanks for everyone for another great season of Collegiate Tetris League. Of course, we, as always, would like to thank the sponsors of UBCEA, Rogers, Drunk Deer, and Sprung Studios. Of course, also a huge shout out to everyone who helped organize this, as well as our very, very large group of commentators, as you can see here. And of course, last but not least, thanks to all of the players for making this happen, and thanks for everyone for watching, since the whole community around CTO makes everything all the more enjoyable. Yeah, well, that's about it from me. Cowbow or Doue, would you like to add anything else, or that's all?
I know that Doue guy in the commentary is kind of goated, so you know, always a blast doing comms with them.
Yeah. I'm just glad we could get our things to line up, so we were able to commentate again. It was really fun commentating for finals. Of commentating with this Cowbow guy. And yeah, just thanks everyone for watching. You know, not just all these people on screen, but all the schools for participating, making time. I know scheduling is hard for everyone, but shout out to all of you, especially some of these schools that were somehow available for all 4 time slots every single week. Huge shout out to you guys. And also a huge shout out to, a huge special shout out to Plu. I think this year's CTL was, bigger than ever and had a lot of moving parts. And she was working, incredibly hard behind the scenes to keep everything together. And I don't think she can be shouted out enough for that.
Very true. Thanks, Plu.
No,
Everyone thank Plu in the chat.
Thanks, Plu.
Thanks,
Yay.
Plu.
Thank you, Plu. But yeah, not only does CTL not run without the work of Plu and also production, KRH, shoutouts.
Shout out KRH.
All the staff that come together for CTL and whatnot, and the commentators. The real thing that this doesn't happen without is all of you guys supporting your schools, playing for your teams, practicing, having fun in the community as well for CTL. That really is the lifeblood of everything. If Plu's the brain, you guys are the heart. So thank you all for supporting, watching, and playing.